Oh yeah.
Okay, we live? I like how Ninja just asked, are you streaming tonight? And I'm like, yep, we're just getting ready. There we go,
Yeah.
there's our preview. Love to see it. There we go.
Whoa. Go to home. There it is.
Beautiful.
Right, oh fuck, I just heard two of me. Alright, pop out chat. There we go. Gonna move my Coke bottle out of the way.
Post. Yep.
Yep.
There we go.
We're here, boys.
It is
We
that
are
time
at the
again.
pinnacle. It is time for realization. Prepare to cream your pants 4 times over. It is time. We are back.
Yes. We are in the home stretch of this novel.
Fucking hell.
And like I said in the description, dude, last episode was crazy. But biggest of all, like we talked about before stream, the jig's up. Like, we know who Mao is now.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm waiting to see.
We thought we knew who it was.
Yeah, we thought we knew who it was
time.
the whole fucking time. And then the game's just like, nope, forget what you thought you knew. You were wrong.
Dude, chapter
wrong.
5, chapter fucking 5's fucking opening, like, thing to have, like, the fucking, a title drop. Fuck.
Just,
that was the best moment of the game.
That many hours of commentating, discussing, picking everything apart, analyzing everything that we have, and it's just like, nope, everything you thought you knew was a lie.
G-string.
That was incredible.
Fucking, just to, like, flip it on its head and then to title drop in a fucking, like, chapter thing, it's just like, shit. The euphoria I felt was stronger than when I actually played Euphoria.
You've told me quite a bit about that one. I have heard a lot about it.
Yeah, maybe one day I will do a private stream in the server, but I think even that might be too much for the internet to handle.
I don't think that's one that I'd want to play.
Nah,
doesn't sound like my kind of thing.
It's psychologically traumatized. It is one I recommend no one to actually play. It's just too fucked.
Zach says another conquest of crime and murder, just up my alley. Yeah,
Oh yeah, we're ready.
exactly. We've been ready for this since last time. Ever since we found out who the fabled Mao that we've been told about all game is.
Yeah, like
man, it was the perfect time for a title drop. Like, this game earned its fucking title drop, dude. I was not ready for that. That was amazing.
Yeah.
That and just the music during that scene. Oh.
That's like butt clenching, standing and fuck. Like, we need someone to clip that title drop, I swear. Like, that was fucking, that's game-making moment. Like, a moment like that fucking makes fucking playthroughs like this worth it.
Worth every minute that we spent on this.
Yeah.
Every minute, every hour, just the whole year, we have been building up to this moment.
Yeah, we've been fucking at this for a year. We seriously spent 33 hours for a shift, and we fucking spent over a year on it. Jeez.
What happened?
What's going on? I'm just...
You were talking about something.
Yeah,
hey, well, sending out links. Some folks in the server were talking about this thing going around with Ubisoft where they will just delete your account if your account is inactive for too long. It's like, bro, I fucking bought the game. I'll decide when I fucking play the game. That is not your decision to make, boy.
I actually should check it.
So
I haven't gotten... I don't think I've gotten that email yet, unless it's, like, on a different Ubisoft account or some shit. I don't know. But, yeah, it's like... I don't know whether, like... What I hope is, since I bought my Ubisoft games through Steam, I'm hoping that, like... If, in case my Ubisoft account gets deleted, I can just either use the activation keys Steam gave me to a new account, or I can go like, hey, the fuck, I bought these games through Steam, can you guys help me?
Uh-huh.
I'm just wondering, because when the 30 days are up, I highly doubt accounts are going to get deleted, because of just the backlash. Like, the closer it gets to the date, I think there's gonna be, like, fucking... Twitter will be flooded, pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
This was Elon Musk's plan all along.
Yes, the man is a genius. And he's secretly a genius.
Yeah, but, like... On my theory is it's not gonna pan out. It's gonna be, like, fucking... OnlyFans.
Yeah, you think it's gonna be one of those things where... It's just gonna blow up in their face to such a degree.
Yeah, it's gonna be like when it's gonna be like when OnlyFans tried to remove porn off their platform, and they just fucking day after like, we're retracting this statement because like so many people left the fucking platform.
It's like
started.
Yep, it's like, bruh. Know your fucking place in the industry, man.
Yeah, it's like fucking jocks are off or stocks are off.
Oh my god, that's incredible. It's so true, though. Oh my god, that is incredible.
But anyway, it is good to be back. It feels good to listen to that music. I would finish this just to hear the completed version of this song.
That's gonna be the best part about finishing this. You know, we get to hear the theme, in full, with all the instruments and everything. It's been slowly building up over time. The more chapters we get,
Zach, if you got time, quite Zach, beautifully.
Yes.
Like if you quote what I just said, see if you can find the fucking title drop of last episode and like clip that. Like that was fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that was incredible. Alright, well, I'm ready. Shall we get into this?
Let's fucking do this. Load.
Yep, we kind of just stopped at a random point last time because one of us had to leave.
Yeah, because my internet fucking was killing itself.
Yeah, your internet just died.
Yep, the modem shit itself.
Your modem just did not want to cooperate, and your backup network, like, it only worked for so long before it's like, okay, bruh, I can't do this no more.
Yeah.
I felt so bad, because it's like, yeah, we were over 5 hours in, but we didn't want to stop.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck. That's what this game's done. It's too good.
It's
once you get this deep in, and it's like everything you thought you knew is just getting flipped on its head. It's like, fuck, bro. Somebody made MC's house front view from DDLC in Minecraft. Sure, send me a picture. I'd love to see that.
I'd be more impressed if someone fucking...
Yep, I always like seeing creative builds in Minecraft, because I don't do creative. Like, I just don't.
I'd be fucking honestly more impressed if someone did the fucking neighborhood in The Sims.
Yeah, that would be something. I'd be down to see that, too. Okay, so where did we stop off?
I think, like,
I think, Usami was tailing... She was tailing somebody.
Yeah, this is where I could, like, barely keep up at this point.
Hashimoto.
Yeah.
Something with Hashimoto. She was following him.
Yeah.
So there was something going on there.
Yeah, the hostage fucking thing.
Right. Minecraft map makers might have actually done that. You just have to find it in the infinite depths of the World Wide Web. I wouldn't be surprised. I just love seeing what people can do with creative mode, because, as you all know, I'm not a very creative individual. At least when it comes to, like, art and stuff. Anyway.
Yes.
That might have been Naito, the head of the Shine group. I was trying to get caught back up with where we were, but I'm just as lost as you, dude.
Yeah.
When she gets back, I ask Usami about the situation outside.
For real? He looked like this?
She grabs the notepad I keep on my telephone stand and sketches a quick portrait. This must be Hashimoto she's sketching. Yeah, probably him. Or this Naito that Kyosuke mentioned.
Yeah.
Naito was likely quite pleased to hear that Gonzo had died.
Oh yeah, Gonzo's dead.
That was another thing that happened. I had to add to my notes, Gonzo dead. I was not ready for that either.
Yeah.
Because, like, he's just such an immortal seeming man.
Yeah.
Oh, Zach sent it to me. Oh wow! I'll pull that up. I'll pull that up on stream when we have a slow moment.
Yeah.
He sent me the house view that he was talking about.
Ah, okay.
He didn't appear at the Suwa meetings today or yesterday. Supposedly, he's been ill.
The foreigner looked like this.
Right, the foreigner that the old man Hashimoto and Hashimoto were with, the foreigner. She drew up another picture with amazing speed. I've got nothing on that one.
I am Speed.
I have to say,
don't you think it's strange?
I have to say, Haru, it's kind of impressive.
Mm.
Well, it is fishy. We can check it out together tomorrow. We'll take my
I'm just
card.
glad we finally have chat heads.
Mm-hmm. After all
we
this
finally
time,
know.
We finally know who's who.
Yeah. I so want to, if, like, we get to restart, like, we get to know, like, figure out who's who.
Yeah. That way, on the off chance something similar happens, we'll be able to follow them. Usami nodded and turned on the TV.
How will the police react to Gonzo-san's death?
The news reported it as your everyday Yakuza warfare. Behind the scenes, the police have been investigating a criminal known as Mao for a while now. That's what Gonzo said, anyway.
We should probably tell the police what we know about it.
Nah, news has already spread that Mao is my brother, Samajima Kiyohei. I'm sure the police have found that out by now. Detectives will probably come looking for me soon to ask some questions.
Yep, Kiyohei is Mao.
Yep.
The
Samajima Kiyohei. The true mastermind behind
Mao.
everything. The real Mao.
Yep. The one who now has a sprite.
Yep, that blew my mind.
Mm.
I'm adding that in my notes. Kiyohei, Mao.
It's not
Kyosuke
Mao.
Is.
It's Kiyohei.
Yep, that was the other change I made to my notes. Like, next to our boy Kyosuke, instead of Kyosuke, I had redacted, because we didn't know like if he was also Mao or not. That's what we thought this whole time. But it's like, no, we were wrong about everything.
We were wrong about everything again.
Yep.
Fucking hell. If we fucking knew half the shit we knew now when the first reveal happened, like, we were like, holy fuck, Kyosuke is Mao? Kyosuke isn't Mao? What?
Right? Like, that's what we thought for, like, half the runtime. Just stopping by to say hi? Well, I appreciate you coming by to say hi. Hopefully you're able to figure out something with your situation with Sonic Rush and the shoulder buttons. I wasn't joking when I said that in main chat, that game destroys your shoulder button. Because you use it so fucking much in that game. I wasn't joking when I said I went through 3 different DSIs doing shit on Sonic Rush games. Like, I wore out these shoulder buttons on 3 different Nintendo DSIs.
Oh, yeah?
Because I played those games that fucking much.
Mal once feared police intervention. Ah, fuck. Mal once feared police intervention more than I expected him to.
Yeah, that's why I spent like an hour after stream the other night looking at different Super Nintendo style controllers. Because that's the controller that has like the closest buttons, button layout to the Nintendo DS's button layout. And I just figure, okay, if I can find like a good aftermarket controller, then that should last me a while. Yeah, I should be able to, to play that game on my computer to my heart's content, and get back to doing what I used to do on those games. Then when I finally, after an hour of searching, found a good quality controller that an actual speedrunner recommended, I'm like, fucking hell! Why do I have to wait 1 or 2 months for it to ship? Because I was trying to find out where the hell they're shipping from that it takes that long. But I couldn't find anything, so I don't fucking know. It's like I know who the company is. I just don't know where they're. I didn't do much research into that. I'll probably do that later.
Right,
so yeah, best of luck with that, mate. But yeah, funny how things change. I heave a sigh and stare at Usami. There's something I still want to ask you.
You want to know why I'm chasing Mal?
Yeah, I figure I have a right to know now. I had an idea. That's right, that's the other thing. That's the other thing we found out about last time, the feud that these two families have.
Yeah, fucking...
The Samajima family and, Usami's family. The Harus.
Yeah. Yeah, her dad's a cunt. A classical music nerd as big as you probably knows how my mother died.
Yeah. It was at a theater in Moscow, wasn't it? Terrorists bombed the place during a performance.
Their target was a Middle Eastern ambassador who had been invited to the concert, but my mother got caught in the crossfire.
Was that your first encounter with Mao?
Yeah, he asked me if I was a daughter of Usami.
Oh.
Well, it's a long story.
I'll ask some other time. By the way, what's that? I pointed to a violin case laying against the back of the sofa. Right, I think you went back to your place to get that at some point last episode, didn't you?
Yeah. I wonder. Look at that smile.
That smug fucking face. You know exactly what you're doing. Did you change your mind about playing for me?
Maybe.
What do you mean, maybe? It reminded me of the old Usami a bit. I lay down on the sofa and jerked my chin at her. I'd like to interview you, Mishima-san.
Wait with the grin.
I hear you were born in Germany. Is that right?
Our boy's a flirt.
Yes, he is.
Let's
not forget, he is also a bit of a playboy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, when someone says Germany, the first thing that comes to mind is automobiles, am I right?
I guess we know the first thing that comes to your mind. Wait. Since when am I the one teasing you for stupid comments?
She just realized the roles have been reversed. Feels weird, right? It's usually the other way around. If you don't like it, you can always just give me a straight answer.
Alright.
Aww. Did you like chocolate as a kid?
Huh?
I mean, Japan is a good variety of chocolate, but Europe is its very birthplace.
Well, I recall throwing a few tantrums that... So much shit in my mouth. Well, I recall throwing a few tantrums in front of candy shops. I used to say things like, I'm not moving from this spot until you buy me chocolate.
Sounds like a normal little girl. Did you watch flamenco performances often?
That's Spain. I went to Spain on a trip once, though I remember seeing a woman dance on a stage in a red dress. I think I was about 2 at a time. I wonder if how I still remember that.
That's a good question. I can't remember shit from when I was 2. Did you like to go out and dance as a child?
No, I've always been a homebody.
So did you play house then?
Yeah, my mother used to buy me dolls. The dolls over there are really realistic. Their facial features are uncanny.
Really now? Did your dad ever send you a doll from Japan? Like that one doll. You know, the one that was all the rage. Carrie-chan or something? My skills as an interviewer are somewhat lacking. You don't say.
Yes. Yeah, he did. I lent it to a friend in Germany and never got it back.
They never gave it back?
Well, that's just how it goes over there. If you say you'll lend someone something, they consider it theirs.
If there's any Germans in the audience who can corroborate this, I would love to know if that's actually a thing in Germany. If anybody knows somebody who lives in Germany or has ever lived in Germany, I'd love to know.
Bring him to stream.
Yes.
Bring him to stream.
I need an answer to this. Is that really something that goes on over in Germany? Yeah, I've heard that. Foreigners just take pens or paper without any bad intentions.
That's why I can be a little shameless sometimes.
Bull.
It made it pretty hard when I came to Japan.
The difference in customs did, you mean?
Yeah, take school lunches, for instance. I was annoyed at having to eat the same thing as everyone else.
Really? And that wasn't because you weren't used to Japanese food?
Nah, I ate Japanese food in Germany too. And another thing, over here, people are more open to giving others the food they don't want. They're more considerate.
Isn't that a good thing?
But there was this one time when I went ahead and ate everyone else's leftover pudding after they were finished eating. It's not like they were going to eat it anyway, right? But still, I got so many weird looks from that.
I bet. Yeah, just how many everyone's leftovers are we talking about? Just about how much is everyone? Like, how much was that?
Yes.
Like, I can picture that.
Over there, it's like you're your own person. Like, in extreme cases, you might have someone bring in cabbage for lunch, but he wouldn't stand out at all. Cabbage was fair game.
That sounds like BS, but we'll roll with it. What kind of place did you live in?
I was surrounded by nature when I lived near Cologne. There was a farm nearby. I wouldn't exactly call it a rural countryside, but it still seemed like a wide open expanse, I guess. It seemed big for some reason.
Yeah. I also hear you lived in Tomenbetsu City once. Is that correct?
Yeah, but it was a lot different from what it is now. 10 years ago, there was no Central Boulevard, remember?
Fascinating. So that's why you were a little lost when you first arrived last year. Central Boulevard practically popped up overnight to us residents, too. Went up quite quickly. Is it true that city development is something the Europeans tend to take slowly?
Yeah, everything's laid back there. You don't hear stories about mom and pop delis becoming huge supermarkets like you do in Japan.
Yeah, that shit takes time over here in the West.
Hmm.
They have higher ceilings over there, too. Your violin must have echoed quite a bit.
Actually, it sounds stupid, but it's true. When I came to Japan, it felt a lot louder because the sound was more condensed. It took a bit of getting used to.
I suppose when you're used to an echo, you don't really notice it. We finally got to talking about the violin. Did you start playing the violin because of your mother's influence?
Yeah, I loved my mother's concerts as a little girl. The music was so beautiful.
But of all things, the violin.
Yeah, instruments are expensive and lots of people aspire to play them. When I said I wanted to try it, my mother looked a little worried.
I bet. She's like, oh, fuck. Thinking about how much that shit was gonna cost. As any parent rightfully would. It's like when every kid wants to get a pet.
Yep.
Kids usually don't think about consequences down the line. This is true.
Yeah. I first picked up the violin just because it looked fun. Then when I played in front of my music teacher, he'd clap his hands and praise me.
Isami looked happy as she reminisced on days gone by.
With Mom so busy at work, she wasn't in much. So each time she came back, she said I had improved a lot. It made me so happy. I eventually grew to love practicing just so I could be praised more.
I see.
I'd play from the moment I got home from school straight through the night. Eat, sleep, play violin. That was my daily life for about 6 months.
I see. How were the recitals?
Yeah. We all played the same song in a group. For some reason, though, I stood out. When we finished playing, people would come up to me and comment on how much I must love to play.
It sure sounds like she does, at least.
At some point, I thought that I'd like to let lots of people hear me play.
Her smile was no less than cherubic, if that's the proper way to say that.
That was where my mother began to teach me personally.
I never knew this, Usami. This innocent girl who spoke with a sparkle in her eyes. That's what happens when you get somebody onto something they're passionate about.
Mom was really strict with when she got serious. No matter what I did, it wasn't good enough. I never knew how poor my technique was until I participated in a certain Japanese contest.
Yep. Oh, stuff like that is is how you can learn about your shortcomings, and where you can improve.
Criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Valuable thing.
I like a comment that I got on my in it opening part to Celeste. Like, you really shouldn't play the B-sides until you really need to get like the apples and stuff or whatever from them. And I'm just like, yeah, it was fun though. It's like, yeah, you're probably right. It was fun though. Because like I said when I started playing that B-side, I love a good challenge. Especially in a platformer that really just puts me through my paces and makes me think about what I'm doing a lot more. I like that kind of thing.
You're right.
Oh?
It was terrifying. The audition hall was quiet and dark, and the judges were cold.
Are contests in the West more friendly?
Yeah, it's more like playing recital over there. Anyway, they weren't impressed.
Yeah, well, contests in Japan are probably concerned with intonation, rhythmic accuracy, and other such technicalities more than overall interpretation.
They mentioned that my performance would have been well received in any other nation, but the judgment made me think twice about my style. I decided I'd go back to basics and correct my bad technique. I even relearned how to hold the instrument.
Did you ever go off to a music camp?
I did. Some of the kids I was with are now touring the world with their instruments. I was kind of nervous being surrounded by such talented prodigies. I didn't feel worthy.
I can't even imagine you saw me being nervous. Did you get stiff shoulders?
But my back started to hurt. And when I had my picture taken, I was told my left shoulder seemed a little elevated. I must have built up some muscle on it.
She shut her mouth as if remembering her normal personality.
Well, I don't have to deal with those kinds of problems anymore.
She forced a self-depreciating smile, but it couldn't hide her sadness. It wasn't fun to look at. You wanted to be a soloist, right?
Yeah, when playing in an orchestra, You have to be more thoughtful. I kept worrying that I'd screw up the ensemble, so I couldn't do it.
This is like me in a game that I am a good solo player at, but in just absolute trash in a group. Because it's just trying to be more considerate makes me do stuff I wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
And it's like my brain is telling me, idiot, you're playing worse than you would otherwise. It's like, what are you doing? And then, and then I just start doing stupid things. That's why when I'm like trying to play my very best, it's gonna be, you know,
I wanna be the very best, like no
one ever was. Exactly. That's why I don't mess with the online shit for raids in Scarlet and Violet for Pokemon. Like, I just do everything myself. Just rely on the AI teammates. Because it's like, most of the time you don't even really need them. You just need to have, the right mon to win the matchup.
I had a hilarious conversation with my partner in the car about, like, songs. Like, like, we were talking about, like, metal and Metallica, and we was, like, it went to fucking, like, me just mentioning Pokemon, and she, as a mistake, was like, what? Metallica didn't do Pokemon, and I'm like, yeah, they have. Metallica did the Pokemon theme live on stage once.
Oh my god! Somebody needs to send that in the music chat on the server. I've never seen that. How have I never seen that?
I don't know, I'll find it real quick.
That is incredible. I would love to see what led up to that.
It was like a fucking. They did fucking.
The band just decided they wanted to do it on a whim, or if there was like a group in the crowd cheering for that. Like
they did a few like really old ones. Like I think they did Power Rangers and that and everything as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Hold on. Here.
Yeah, Pokemon's also known for some pretty solid OSTs.
Yeah, dude, you should fucking play that.
Yeah, I'll listen to that later. I never knew that they did that.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
seriously.
kind of sick. It's just like fucking this shredding guitar. Doo doo doo. Fucking sick.
I know, that's just amazing to think about. Just Metallica of all bands playing the Pokemon theme. I never thought I'd hear those two things together in a sentence in my life.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
I bet it is. I mean, I love their music as is. Just every time I hear them come on the radio, I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yes. Alright, let's continue.
She must have been pretty timid as a kid. But you don't have to worry about that in front of me.
Huh?
I speak to her gently, and Yusami's face returns to that of the young girl again. You want to play in front of a lot of people, right? She's like, where are you going with this? Then let me hear you. This place is soundproofed fairly well, and it had better be for how expensive it is. Even if you screw up, only I can hear it. Yusami's shoulders shook a little. She took a deep breath, then stared at her violin case. Oh boy. Is this the moment?
Is this?
The music stopped.
Stopped. Oh. It's like we both fucking like popped up and it was just the music stopped.
Oh yeah. If there's one thing that is translated over from playing so many mods of DDLC, it's that every time the music stops, you fucking pay attention.
Oh yeah.
It's like shit's about to get real.
Let's do this. Ooh.
Here we go.
I haven't heard this one in a while. Alright, I'll do it for you.
She scurries to grab the case as she blushes. She opens the case gently, as one would a jewelry box. Inside the solid case was a cloth sack. Could tell just from that how much care she put into her instrument. Then, from out of the sack, she pulled a beautiful, aging, glossy violin. Damn, that looks pretty expensive.
Of course, our boy, first thing he thought's that mustn't cost you a lot of money.
Well, yeah, that's what he's known his whole life.
Yep. That sounds like something you'd say, but I would call it priceless.
It must be the violin her mother used.
Wait a sec.
She rummaged through a bag she had brought along with the case.
You don't have a tuner, do you?
Nah, I'm just a fan, after all. I don't play.
I seem to have forgotten mine.
Oh dear. Hey now, you're not gonna leave me blue-balled, are you? Though since violins are made of wood, the change in temperature or humidity between her place and mine might have thrown the strings out of tune.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go for it. If it were the rainy season, though, I might be singing a different tune. When the air is exceptionally humid, the strings stretch easily, sending the pitch and timbre straight to hell.
I do tune it every day, I guess.
Oh, so you still practice daily?
No, I just keep the instrument in good shape. I don't actually play it.
So she's just attached to it.
As reluctant as I am. Alright, I'll do it.
She takes a black bar of what looks like soap into her hand. Is that pine resin?
You're well informed.
But I think that's for the bow, for the violin. It's commonly called rosin. She's gonna apply it to the horsehair bow. Yep, what I thought.
You're screaming early today. That was nothing compared to
your sarcasm, dude.
Yeah.
Must be early for you, because this is, nothing unusual for me. If anything, it's actually a little bit late, because we didn't start right at 11. Because it's 11:50, roughly, for me right now. But how are you doing, man?
He can't hear us.
Oh, okay. I'll put it in the chat then.
Yeah. I'm ready!
Yeah. If you haven't seen that 7-hour session we did on this game, dude, definitely look at it. Definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Because that was something else, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah. I fucking put a bit too much aggressiveness into the I'm ready part. I was just like, yes! Alright, let's fucking do this.
She lightly presses her bow to the bar and glides along it, top to bottom.
I'm surprised I still remember.
It's like riding a bike. Once you learn, you never forget.
Yeah, and you still can't do it drunk.
Uh-huh.
Huh? I mean, it's not a good idea to put too much on, but if you put too little on, the sound weakens.
So her body still remembers how much to apply. Yep, at some point it just becomes muscle memory.
Azai-san, do you have a dish sponge or something I could use?
Huh?
I haven't played for a long time, so I don't have a shoulder rest. There's lots of people who don't use one. I feel more relaxed with one under my clothes.
But will a dish sponge really do?
Yeah, I always practice with dish sponges.
Really? I'd love to know if that's a common practice among violinists. Because I don't actually know. I'm not much of a musician myself. I don't play anything. Instrument-wise. I'm turning into
when are we getting
When are you getting Jinika? I am Janika Tractor Live 2D model. Oh, if only I had time to do something like that regularly. Oh my god.
Yep.
I can dream.
That was, like, besides that, like, 12-hour fucking stream you did once, like, that was one of the longest streams I think you've done.
Oh, yeah. It was up there.
Yes.
As far as, like, something I did for something related to VN.
This series, this this series is still not fucking over.
Like I made a bet with all y'all in chat and the comment section last time. Like, do you think we're gonna finish this before or after episode 30? Like, 'cause I'm curious what y'all think. If you're watching this in the future, let me know in the comments.
Yeah.
My
funny chat didn't go through, bro.
I'm sorry. Nothing I can do about that. YouTube is just being YouTube. Yeah, I do that while I'm talking. I have to keep my hands occupied.
We made a mild improvement. We made a mild improvement to the overlay. Like, I don't think barely anyone's gonna notice.
Oh no, you're not gonna notice it with the way it's set up now, but
yeah.
If you watched the corruption stream when I did the demo night and I played corruption, you might remember I messed with stuff like the gamma to get like a corrupted look on the layout. That messed with the QR code. So yeah, you can't tell now, but if I were to mess with the gamma and the saturation now, you can see the QR code stays exactly the same. So yeah, we fixed that. We fixed that with the layout.
It wasn't that difficult to fix, to be honest.
No, it was basically like applying a hot fix to a game.
Yeah, I like to, when I do Photoshop and shit, I like to make everything separate layers. So, like, I can have that, and I guess it was a good thing to have on this
beautifully that way with a OBS overlay as well. Having all the different pieces be different things so that, you know, you have more control over each individual piece. Oh god, here we go with this again. I was just about to ask how you were
He's trying the gauntlet, it's fucking on.
I take it by that comment, you're doing fairly well, Oreo.
Oh, they fucking on.
He's good, guys. He's good. Oh, you should have seen what him and Caleb were doing. You should have seen what him and Caleb were doing last time. There we go. Alright. Do you have a chin rest?
Nice. Anyway, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go to the bathroom and get myself some more ice and continue.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the hot fix that we made to the layout. But yeah. In the meantime, what's new with you, dude? Also, can I just say, I talked about it a bit with Caleb before stream, but I'm kind of surprised how well the Sonic P06 stream went. Like, that got a lot more views than I thought it would. So, to everybody who viewed that stream after the fact, that was just laughing at how bad I was at that game, thank you. That was a greater reception than I thought I would have got for Sonic P06. The fan project bringing Sonic 06 over to the PC. More people watched that than I would have thought they would. So I'm doing it again Saturday. I'm gonna play it again on Saturday to play Shadow Story and then try to get good at some of the levels I'm shit at. Now that I know what I'm doing, kind of, sort of. Like, there's a reason I didn't spend much time getting good at many levels in Sonic 06, and it's because it's like...
You know what's really useful about my new mic?
What's that?
It has a button to actually mute the microphone on the mic itself.
Yep.
Which
my
comes
headset's
handy.
got a switch to do that.
Yeah, so it might not, like, view that I'm muted on Discord, but, like, nothing goes through my mic when I'm muted.
Yep. So
yeah, if I start to, like, suddenly talk like this and then just... You're not gonna hear shit. So yeah, for you guys, like, I can, like, everyone else, I continue talking, but, like, yeah, no one said this.
Alrighty, let's keep going. Leave it as your
I already
call.
have car insurance.
Oh,
Oh,
I
fuck.
didn't read the last bit. Hold up, I need to get caught up on this.
Oh god. What the fuck? Mate, you're pretty good, but I'm gonna tell you this one thing: you cannot fucking top the weird shit that the head of this hardened games can say. Now that dude's fucking weird, and he can
I'll
spin
take your
some
word
really
for it.
creative shit. Well,
I'll
dude,
just have to take your word for
he
it.
has no quarrel fucking insulting someone in any regard and being intelligent about it. Like the one time that he was on this on the stream with fucking Disabled, he had no quarrel mocking that out of him.
Oh yeah, I kind of just sat there like I mean that just sort of happened. I wasn't even really part of that.
Yeah. Oh, dude, fucking Oreo. If you want to fucking, he's in fucking bed server. Yeah, if you want to fucking, if you want to challenge him on a
Rabbit Rounds guy, or am I thinking of somebody else?
No, Shadow Killer. Rabbit's
Right,
the
that guy.
head of art. No, we're talking about Shadow here.
Yeah.
The dude that mocked fucking Disabled on that fucking DDLC stream.
Yeah, I don't even remember what we were playing that day.
I don't know, it was some mod, but like
I know
yeah.
it was a mod.
Nah.
I was trying to remember what one it was. See, the problem
Yeah,
when you played like over 120 different mods for that game is you start to forget what the hell you even played.
Yep, so he's pretty much in Ben's Dream Zone, your disappointed father. So
Yeah, that's
if you want to like pull him off to a lemon off, like fucking go ahead. You will be surprised. That dude.
I would say he is the
can...
definition of no filter.
Oh yeah, the dude. Some of the shit, like in dev talks when we were writing Period Pursuit, fucking like he's both deranged and intelligent. Like,
yep,
the dude has no filter. How we've always mentioned about fucking Shadow, fucking going toe to toe about politics, to how like Japanese, how like he has fucking several one night stands with Japanese women, and how like they moan realistically like anime.
Good God.
This dude, like
Man knows his tastes.
Yeah, this dude is probably like, when it comes to like, if you talk to him about a topic, he will talk your ass off. And I've seen this dude talk about politics to pretty much like rubbing butter on Rabid's nipples.
Yeah, that's the point where I just go like, what?
Yeah, you should, like, if you've ever seen him in any of the NSFW chats.
Yeah, I have.
Like, I think
a few times I go look at it.
Yeah, so if you check some of half the shit he has ever said, like, or posted, like, he's fucking, like, yeah, if you look up in the general in anime NSFW, look, the thing he posted was a fish.
Oh my god, yeah.
Posting exceedingly weird shit is like 15% of my entire personality.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like, Oreo, I know you're creative, sure. But you're gonna have a challenge if you're gonna top him. If you want to challenge him, fucking ping him in the server.
That would be a sight to see, seeing them two going at it in the server.
Yeah.
Like, all gloves are off at that point. Like, the gauntlet has been thrown down, and everybody else is just in for a wild ride.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I have
if
a
you want
filter,
to see
so it's
that,
just like,
whenever that happens, make sure you're in the server. That's what I got the QR code there for.
yeah.
Good
All right, let's
God.
continue, man.
Yeah, we've been kind of rambling for a bit. I think I skipped over your line here. I think I bumped.
Yeah.
I think I bumped.
Not wearing any
bumped the
makeup,
button.
anything, so really, so it wouldn't matter if I didn't.
The heck? What if you sweat on the violin?
Are you going to make me play something that'll make me sweat?
I'll start off with some Bach, I guess. Who else?
Bach.
Who else but Bach from Kyosuke?
Oh yeah. Oh, I knew it. Oh well, I like Bach too. Your cursor is having a seizure.
My cursor is always having a seizure. What are you talking about? That's just what I do when I play these games.
Yeah.
Hey, now who do you think you're talking to, saying you like Bach? What do you know about Bach?
I was captivated by Bach's mathematical talent.
Oh, so you do know your stuff. He wrote a song that's the same whether you play it forwards or backwards. That takes skill. That ain't like Tetris. You don't just go hold doot 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 and then put it back. No, that takes talent.
Yeah. Right, like a palindrome.
Yeah.
What a mysterious guy.
That's impressive. All right then, I've got it. Play Jesu, Joy of Man's Desiring.
But I don't have the sheet music.
Oh dear. What are you talking about? What are we talking about? No, we're talking about Bach.
But yeah, you just need to
one
accept.
artist that Kyosuke adores more than any other.
Yep, Bach.
You can't just play it from memory? Rumor about
It's so
Mishima
important
Haruna
that
being
the
able to play any song after hearing
VNDB
it
description.
once, just a rumor
sorry.
after all.
Yeah, fucking Bach is so influential that it's on the description of the VNDB page of Devil on G-string.
Yeah, that's one of Kyosuke's like defining traits. His obsession with Bach.
Yeah. Besides, he plays God at school.
Yeah. That was the other thing.
Yeah. Can't just play it. Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Yep,
continue.
that's the line that I kind of read while you were talking
Yeah, I
about
know. Yeah, alright, let's continue.
Yeah, like you can't just play it from memory? Was the rumor about Mishima Haruna being able to play any song after hearing it once just a rumor after all?
Where did you hear that nonsense? Well, if that's what you want, I'll guess I could try.
I'll let you play as half-assed as you want today.
Today? Will there be a next time?
I love that face. She's like, excuse me? Of course. You're my woman, aren't you? Embarrassed. Usami starts preparing to play. I mean, hey. Oh man, I'm turning off the lights. Oh yes. Always dim the lights for a performance.
Yes. There you go, raising the bar again.
Darkness permeated the room. Ah, wait. I changed my mind. Play Air on the G-string. A song that we learned has much significance last time.
Your favorite song? You sure are spoiled, you know that?
Went green for a split second. What did? Rumbling, Usami takes up the bow and puts the violin to her left shoulder.
Oh shit.
Usami's slender body stands in the moonlight. Finally, we get to see this scene with its full context.
Yes.
If you remember a while back, we used this for one of the thumbnails.
Yeah, in chapter 1.
Yeah,
where we were like,
way
Usami,
back.
we wanted... Yeah, before we went into Roots, it was like, Usami, yeah.
Beautiful. Huh. Because I have OBS pulled up on my secondary monitor. I didn't see anything weird on mine.
Pardon me.
Did anybody else see anything like that?
I usually don't have the stream open, so I don't know.
Yeah, you usually just have the chat.
Yeah, I've got it open but behind, but like I can't see anything.
Hey,
okay.
What's up, drunk junk? He just came by when I was doing
nice.
Sonic PO6 Friday night.
No. Is he familiar with this series or no?
I don't know, because he just stopped by the channel on Friday, so he wouldn't have had time to catch up on this. Because, yeah, this is a long series, dude. So I apologize if you guys are a little lost. To be fair, we're a little lost, too. And we're the ones that have been playing this for over a year. But yeah, what's new with you guys? How are you guys doing? With hair down to her legs, she shuts her eyes as if going to sleep. That's the look of a focused woman. She was different from the usual.
And that point, my LAN network... Sorry I cut out for a second, can you hear me?
Yep, I heard something in your
Yeah, my LAN... everything cut out because my LAN network just reconnected itself.
Okay, that's good. Bro's USB disconnected. You're on the right track. Is this game about one of those shoulder devils on a guitar string? No. If you're not part of the server,
what usually
I'd recommend joining the server because we got a VN section.
He is a part of the server.
Yeah, so make sure you have the VN content role and then go to the VNDB chat because we've got the game posted there, the game's VNDB page. So if you're curious about it, I recommend looking it up.
Yeah, g-senjou no Mao is the Japanese version, so I'll just like reply to it and ping you.
Yeah. There was
anyway, this has been pretty much Ben's longest VN series. So far, at least.
Do you need to warm up?
No, I'm fine.
She answered bluntly. Yeah, she is focused. She lightly grips the bow with her right hand and brings her left hand to the violin's neck. I noticed the calluses of Usami's fingertips when we made love. Her touch was rough and gritty. She must have practiced intensely all her life. Those same fingertips now slowly descend to the fingerboard and lightly press on the strings. I take a deep breath in anticipation and await her first note with sweaty palms. Somebody get Zach in here. This is his moment.
Yep, Zach.
I'm confident, no, sure, that the melody she plays will be stunningly beautiful. Bruh, what happened?
Zach.
DeBombre, what happened?
We summoned him.
It's your line, Zach. This very moonlit moment, I am completely enchanted by the girl known as Usami Haru. Do I want to know what you have seen? Is this something I should know?
Oh, I only fucking, pinged him in the VNDB fucking chat. But,
Oh, that's what you saw. I see.
What did he say?
What a bad moment to walk in on. Says he saw his friends watching Pornhub together. Yeah, bad moment to walk in. Her bow reaches for the G string, the string that plays the lowest sound.
I'm sorry.
At first, it was nothing but a whisper.
Do I join him?
That is not my decision to make.
I don't... Oh, God. We got more... Jesus. We have 6 people watching. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Then her well-formed eyebrows twitched.
Look, he's crawling out of the F-hole onto the G-string.
Zach just seems mildly annoyed.
Yep, we summoned him out of the depths of Hades.
For that.
Yep.
Then, a sound like fingernails on a blackboard resounded through the room.
You see the devil there?
Couldn't believe my ears.
Sorry, as I saw.
She starts shaking.
I can't do it.
What? What did Usami just say? Boy's speaking like he was in a trance just a moment ago. The devil?
Yes, he always interferes every damn time. I'm sorry for saying weird things.
I've heard of performers with prodigal talent who put themselves in a trance-like state as they play. Yeah, that's almost like what I do when I'm trying to really optimize a certain stage in a
quick second, I
platformer.
just need to deal with something. Won't be too long.
Like, you get so familiar with all of the moves you have to do, you're not even really thinking about what you're doing, it's just muscle memory. And if something goes wrong, it's like you just go back to the start and go get back on your rhythm. So, yeah, like, I know exactly what she's talking about. I know exactly what they're talking about here. Ancient sins. Ancient sins, says Zach. I guess now would be a good moment. Zach, you sent me something earlier. He sent me a Minecraft rendition of MC's house in from DDLC. And I have to say, it looks quite fantastic. Like, especially the sunset lighting there. Like, oh man. That looks so good. Like, it almost defies belief that this was made in Minecraft. Like, especially the side, you know, the shingles on the roof and some of the textures. Like, that's impressive. They did a good job with this. The power of mods and shaders, my boy. Oh yeah, I know there's a lot of mods for this for Minecraft. So I fully believe that they can make it look that good. It still impresses me though. Like I said, I do not, you know, I could not make stuff like that. I'm just not creative enough for that shit. So yeah, thanks for sending me that. That was cool. I'm having some juju coins while I wait for Caleb to get back here.
Who says my name, mortal?
Welcome back.
Was that loud?
A little bit.
Sorry,
I
put
just
a bit
started
too
having
much.
some of my juju coins that are on my desk
Oh,
here.
cool. I just
Yeah.
like came back and it was just like, wait until Caleb gets back here. I am back.
I was showing the Minecraft house that Zach sent me.
Oh,
The
cool.
DDLC one that somebody made in Minecraft.
Okay, someone explain to me why the music has gone to like a... What the fuck is this track? This is sick.
It's called Panic.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
remember you saw me messed up?
Yeah. Yep. Let's do this. Oh, fuck.
I was
Even
saying
the...
these. I was talking about these two lines. It kind of reminds me of the discussion we had with Cannon's route. You know, when we found out, you know, that she's basically devoted her entire life to what she does.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, bruh, I understand the grind that she's on.
Yeah.
And then Kyosuke's saying now about, you know, Usami. You know, I've heard of performers with prodigal talent who put themselves in a trance-like state as they play. Like I said, when I'm playing a platformer and I'm trying to really optimize a certain stage, you know, like an individual level run for a Sonic game, that's kind of how I get when I get, you know, good enough at all of the different parts of the level that require practice. It's like I'm not even really thinking about what I'm doing at that point. It's just muscle memory and rhythm at that point. And it's like, I know what I have to do, and if I get off my rhythm, you know, just to such a degree, like, I'll just start over.
Yeah.
It's like not even really thinking about what's happening, just waiting for everything to align. Oh yeah, I'm with you, Caleb. When I've played survival mode, I always prefer making a cave base.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm usually like to play.
That's just who I am.
Yeah, in a world that me and Rabbit are doing at the moment, we're doing a vanilla survival because we usually do modded, but we're doing like a factions kind of thing. We have a few people that play on now.
Yep.
But pretty much, like, what we've started to do is we've made, like, a fucking map room, and Zach's a part of that. So he saw us, like, actually build a giant fucking room, and he says, like, that was the biggest flex ever. Because we've got, like, a floor map room, and, like, yeah. Granted, like, not many people are playing as we'd like to, but, like, we're still pretty good. But we usually prefer to play modded Minecraft because I just prefer the content that it gives.
Oh, like, for sure.
Because I'm like very big on making. Because as everyone that has ever played modern Minecraft with us knows that if I get my hands on auto crafting, I will pretty much automate or auto craft nearly every fucking process within any modded system. And fucking like shit that I've been told that is impossible, I've been just like, I'm gonna do that within 20 minutes.
Yep, you're just like, okay, bet.
Yeah, and I still, like I've said multiple times, I have not seen a Wither Killer design faster than mine. Yep. And I remember how to do that off by heart.
Yep, you told me about that quite a bit.
And if anyone knows the Draconic Evolution setup, or Draconic Evolution mod, I've automated fusion crafting pretty consistently. Like, I think upgrading, like, how to upgrade armor, and that was probably the more difficult thing I've ever had to do, because there was, like, multiple different mods that had to correlate into one to allow... Like, it had redstone control and everything. Like, through, Ender.io, like, redstone control. Like, how it worked in the end was, like, if you... Like, it was like a powered, like, kind of crafting setup. It's hard to explain without playing it, but pretty much, if you have a piece of, like, overpowered armor, you put it into the system with a set of items, then it will give, like, the upgrade tier, the chip. So, like, you get like a better protection of that. So you need the same set of items if you're doing like a higher tier, like you're doing Wyvern tier, Draconic tier, or Chaotic tier. I figured out how to automate that shit. And in the end, what I did was like I had like 3 chests with a light on it. You put the piece of armor and the upgrade chip, and then it would just come out in the output when it's done, when it's fully upgraded. Fucking hard, but I did it.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes
I wish
to
I
modern
understood
Minecraft,
like a fraction of the stuff about redstone that you do, because it's like.
Like, no, I'm not.
I never really, you know.
I'm not a redstone. I'm not a redstone genius. I'm a fucking auto crafting kind of person with modded Minecraft. Like, redstone builds, half the shit I've seen fucking redstoners do, I could not come close to that. Like, but when it comes to making a ME system, I can autocraft nearly everything in the fucking game with a click of a button. That I can do.
Yeah, it's impressive. Also, how's it going, Brad? Welcome to stream.
Yeah, how many people are on the fucking stream now? Oh fuck, 6 people, sick. Now let's continue.
Yep. Sometimes it allows them to suppress physical and emotional pain during a performance. And sometimes, when they achieve the state of complete ecstasy, they begin to see fairies, or hear the devil's whispers.
Well, I know there's nothing there, sorry. You must be getting freaked out of my weirdness.
It sounded like a joke coming from her, but Yusami's body was shaking abnormally.
It just makes me remember.
She took a few shallow breaths.
Makes me remember when my mother's bro reached for the same G-strength and that loud, damnable demon rumbling ran through the theater.
Yusami!
This is not what I expected.
Flashback
Fuck
time!
My turn. The rumbling drowned out her mother's beautiful melody. The earth shook, and Haru's body was tossed into the air. Sound burst her sensitive eardrums as destruction rained down, raging across the theater. It was a blast of a bomb. Ooh, we finally get to see this cutscene.
This one in its full context. Because if you'll remember, we
The
also
stage.
used this
Yeah,
previously in the series.
yeah.
Man, I've been wondering when this was gonna crop up. 'Cause I'm just like, I was trying to figure out who that was at the time. It's like, now we know.
Yeah. The stage,
damn,
the seating area,
it hits
the balcony,
so much different
the
now.
boxes,
Sorry.
everything vomited smoke into the air. Nah, it's okay.
Yeah. Like, it hits so much different now.
Screams littered the atmosphere. Unintelligible screams of pain and terror. Haru saw someone lying on the ground on the other side of the theater. She saw other things which had lost all semblance of humanity. Fragments, pieces of human beings,
Jesus Christ.
chunks of flesh, decorated puddles of blood right before her very eyes. Something looked like a tree branch had landed near the ruins of a crumbled marble pillar. It was an arm ripped out of its socket.
Oh, Jesus. Jesus
A
Christ,
man sat on the ground near Haru, clinging on to one of the chairs. He was holding his stomach as if in desperate prayer. Something soft of a dull color splashed out onto the ground. It was his intestines.
Oh. Jeez.
Haru! Jesus Christ!
Oh my god.
There was blood everywhere.
That is fucking traumatic. Jesus.
I did that as a kid.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This is the kind of incident you don't forget for the rest of your life. I love intestines at 6:30 in the morning. You are welcome, Brad. Aren't you glad you tuned in?
Exactly what I want to hear.
Oh my god.
Everything was burnt and blackened. All that remained were the dead and dying. The smoke had frozen the girl so tightly that she wasn't even able to close her eyes. The world around her had completely changed. Her mother's skillful performance had at some point become an ensemble of low-pitched groaning. There were screams, and at the same time, a barrage of automatic weapons fire. The shots fired mercilessly in front of her. A few streams of blood surged out like snakes. Only after seeing that she finally able to clench her teeth in fear. Death was near. Sometime after she had finally accepted her inevitable death, a voice called out to her. Called out for her. Haru, Haru, it said, seeking the girl. She tried to squeeze out a reply, but couldn't. Her mother had been an expert at manipulating sound at will, yet the only response Haru was able to offer her, a response that would turn out to be her final words to her mother, was a raspy wheezing that hardly qualified as speech.
Are you Yusami's daughter?
No, remember? I play Kyohei now. Shit.
I'm so
It's
used
hard
to
to
that
remember.
mine color
Yeah.
being mine, so my bad.
You,
I'm so
are
used to
you
that.
nah, that makes sense. Are you Yusami's daughter?
Oh
A new
boy.
voice called out to this one, a calm one from above her. He was dressed head to toe in black. The balaclava he wore covered his face, but his eyes laughed boldly at her. The man's figure, distorted from the hot air, seemed akin to one of the devils straight out of hell. Usami Haru, correct? What answer the girl gave the devil, she does not remember. But she must have given him a name.
Ninja, we're having a flashback to Usami's mom's last performance. The day that she died in Moscow because of a bombing. And when she first met the devil. Otherwise known as Mao.
Yep. The devil returned a scornful smile. Some Middle Eastern language was being shouted about. The devil replied in the same tongue. The blood at his feet splashed. I am the Mao. Let's meet again, hero.
Damn.
After that, something inside the girl broke. Like a violin missing a string, her heart stopped functioning normally. In exchange, she gained hatred. She gained hatred at the cost of her ability to play the violin.
That explains a lot about what's going on right now. Every time she tries, it might just be with this piece, but yeah, every time she tries now, she just recalls that, and she can't do it anymore.
Fuck it, Shit.
Usami's breathing was becoming rough, and her face was getting so pale that I was able to notice it from the moonlight alone.
Hilda. Now took my mother. No. He took the violin from me.
I know. Now calm down.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Kinko.
Yeah, this game is dark, dude.
I thought I might be able to play it. If you were there with me, if it was off you, I thought I could.
Why is Usami, a passingly normal young woman, chasing the dangerous terrorist Mao? I finally understood the reason behind that reckless act. It's why she went down the path that she did. Learning about everything that she knows now. It all makes sense.
Shit. I couldn't. I'm so sorry.
That sounds nice, Brad. That's gonna be me waiting for the SNES controller that I ordered that has a USB plug-in to arrive in like a month or two. I talked about why in the main chat on the server when I was looking at them the other night, so I won't repeat myself here. She was merely wandering around, grief-stricken, searching for salvation. Ah, some capacitors died in your old Xbox.
Yeah.
That's no fun. That sucks.
Nah.
I see. You did well to tell me.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. You were looking forward to it so much.
Don't worry about it. It was my fault. I reach out to hold Usami. Don't worry about it. I'll do something about it.
Something?
Her tone suddenly lost all emotion. Yeah. I'll catch Mao. That seemed the only way to save Usami.
Catch him?
Her eyes went wide. Despite all the experiences we shared, we were still different people. I didn't understand a single ounce of Usami's despair.
No. Kill him.
That fucking stare, though. Damn. Yeah, that's all the motivation I need, Usami. Don't fucking mess with Usami. Jesus. That is the look right there. You don't mess with the look. God damn.
She has the gift.
Don't mind me, just yoink. That night, I learned of the demon in Usami Haru's heart. The chains which we inherited from our parents have become our very own karma, binding us into an eternal winter. Very poetic. You'll be able to play again someday. No, I'll make her able to play. I'll do it with my own hands, not through unheard prayers to a useless god as I used to. As one single human, as one single man, I'll protect Haru. We had sex many times that night. We sought each other like animals, and I released my seed inside Haru. It was violent. Sex aimed at capturing the other's soul.
Oh my fucking god. That went into a direction I didn't expect.
Oh yeah. The night wore on, and as exhaustion took us, we fell asleep in each other's arms. What a way to end that section of the chapter. Good lord.
It was violent sex.
I know.
Oh.
Here we go.
I've waited a long time for this. The day has come to execute my final plan. I can't help but look back at the 10 years I've spent in preparation for this. Inspired by my father, Samajima Toshikatsu, an employee of a trading company, I aspired to study overseas. 10 years ago, I was just a kid. I had no money or power to speak of. I attended the Imperial College of London, hoping to gain the qualifications necessary to work at my father's company. My younger brother Kyosuke was still young and unreliable. When I returned to Japan, even now and then, he'd make me play video games with him. His amiable personality and overall sociability was just like father. I remember him following me around, taking pictures of me as I helped mother with errands or chores. Thanks to father working himself to the brink, our family was never poor. Regardless, I refused any money they tried to give me to help pay for various expenses as I studied in Britain.
Man wants to earn his own.
I knew that mother, with her weak disposition, could have fallen ill at any moment. I also knew that father wanted to bring another life into the family. However, I did need the money. Thus, some friends and I decided to found a small import-export business in London to help pay the bills. Calling it an import-export business makes it sound impressive, but it was just peddling cheap junk.
Yep. You make it sound more impressive than it is to put it on a resume.
Shit. We sold t-shirts, pencils, Buddha statues, and other such Japanese rubbish to shops in London. I think you can go back. Japanese saran wrap and toiletries sold well for some reason. And there was a significant amount of orders for underwear and blazoned with kanji logos.
Yep. And you're just over here like, yeah, gee, I wonder why that is.
father would often package such novelties and send them to Britain for us. "You'll be a great trader someday," he told me. He always supported me from the bottom of his heart. I met Alan one day as I walked into a pub, trying to hawk an air of freshener that promised extra effectiveness against the smell of alcohol. He looked to be in his mid-40s. He wore a houndstooth checked flat cap and a cheap flux fur windbreaker and worn old slacks. Sipping a Guinness and lighting his pipe occasionally, he looked like your everyday working class Brit. "Alright, mate," he ordered as he waved me over with a smile. He bought something from me right off the bat. He said he loved Japan and would be a good customer. As we talked more, we started calling each other by our first names, and by the time he offered me a drink of sake, he already knew my background, specialties, and interests. Being raised in a peaceful country like Japan, I was hopelessly vulnerable. A young Japanese man was like clay in the hands of a veteran recruiter like Alan. By the time he first said the word mercenary, I was drunk. I'm a mercenary. My drunk self was more curious than cautious about that unfamiliar word. Supporting the business of war at its core was the lowest level of these so-called merchants of death mercenary recruiters. Any system with the possibility of cooperation will eventually spawn a profit-based equivalent.
Cooperation.
I thought it was either cooperation or corporation. I just lost it. Corporation is weirdly spelled.
Royal Mail. Is that the company you ordered from, Brad?
Fucking hell, okay. And with the monstrous amount of money involved in war, there will always be monsters out there looking for a cut.
Yep, military-industrial complex.
And in any case, Alan himself was not working for some Arab big shot or some capitalist corporate giant. The monster happened to deal in smaller figures. He had the proper qualifications and was a former member of the recruitment agency. However, mercenary recruiters are not permitted to act out in the open. That law exists for diplomatic reasons, as for conformity to international law, and the connections to underground organizations cemented as an important rule to Alan's talk captured the... Yeah, I know, I just what... Alan's talk captured the attention of his green listener. He tried to sweet-talk me into joining up as we drank Kurosawa and Yamato Damashi, and like a missionary for an evil cut, he waited patiently until his prey was no longer able to think. Still, I never said yes. Murder is evil. As if to say he already knew that, he laughed and replied, "But murder can sometimes save things and that justice can't." I found that difficult to understand.
Very curious point of view, I have to say.
Yeah. It does stir a man's sense of adventure, but there's no reason to become something as mysterious as a mercenary. Warfare may be an unfortunate constant in the world of ours, but it had nothing to do with me. You ever find yourself in need of power? Call me anytime, Alan told me. I have a strange feeling he will take that deal.
Let's find out. So I'm curious.
Give me a moment, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom, like 5 secs.
Yeah, gotcha. This is intense stuff. Finally getting to learn more about the man himself here. The game's namesake. The game's namesake. The devil himself. Mao. This is very fascinating stuff. how he got into the position he's in now, basically. This is very fascinating. I've been waiting for this day for a long time, you know. Find out, like, why he's doing all of this. Because now that we know, like, he's a separate character from Kyosuke, it just brings it even more into focus. Like, why? And yeah, it has to do with a feud in the family, but surely there's more to it than that.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I just want to point out that, like, all this crap, all this hell started with one man with one contract. All this twistedness, all this evil. Fucking hell.
Here we go.
My little sister was born and died. My father's silhouette, broken-hearted before little Kiyomi's portrait, is still burnt into my eyes. Soon after that, that same father was arrested under suspicion of murder. When I received the news from mother, I abandoned studying for my upcoming Arabic midterm and returned to Japan. Tomenbetsu, city's holding cells. I was turned away 3 times under the excuse that they were still investigating the case, but I was eventually allowed to visit father. I read your letter, father. Father nodded from behind the acrylic plate. Above his droopy cheeks, his worn-out eyes told of his lack of sleep. How was your heart? Father vaguely shook his head. Not once in the letter did he whine, but he fainted a few times. The fainting spells were bouts of his heart disease.
Ouch.
He suffered from it the night he cried in front of Kiyomi's portrait as well. Please, father, don't be so overdramatic. The death penalty? Try to keep your spirits up. Father had killed Usami Hoshinori, his subordinate Kato, and 2 of Usami's other mahjong friends who were present.
Yep, the ones that screwed him over in the first place.
Is he going to be given the death penalty? There are plenty of reasons to be sympathetic towards him. Nevertheless, the crime was premeditated, and it couldn't be helped that they saw his method of killing as brutal. He was just possessed by his urge to kill at least Usami. The rest of them were just small-timers riding off Usami's power. They could do nothing but mock father. Then again, I personally think it's those kinds of vermin who deserve to die.
Touché.
When I spoke with a lawyer friend of father's, he was unable to confidently determine whether or not father had a chance at life. The decision wouldn't be made for 3 or 4 years after all. I was incredibly worried. What truly disturbed me that the word sympathized with Usami, the world. As father's letter detailed, Usami was a fraud and a chronic gambler. None of this was reported in any newspaper or television programs.
Yep.
Apparently, Usami had connections to politicians. Perhaps his famous wife, Mishima Karu, had something to do with that. Would these things affect father's sentencing, I wondered? Don't worry, just in case. I've been cooperating with anti-death penalty groups. But each time I attend their meetings and the study sessions, I lost more hope. What I wanted to save wasn't this country's future, but my father, a man who might be sentenced to death. Yohei. Father gently called my name. Thanks, Kiyohei. Father's tears lent a certain air of fulfillment to his eyes. I mustered my courage and replied, Father, you really don't regret what you did you? Father bit his lip. I'm sorry. That sentence was certainly not aimed at Usami or the other three, but at our family. I imagine the scene of the inevitable trial. The prosecution shouting things like, "The defendant shows no signs of regret." Indeed, Father would never submit to Usami's memory, nor should he have to. Yohei, can a genius like you answer a question for your old man? He looked to be begging Buddha for salvation. Am I the demon everyone says I am? Indeed, he is a demon. My reason of morality whispered coldly into my chest. He loved his family more than anyone else. Anything else. The smiles he brought to us were countless. I felt something burning inside me, and I cursed my ingrate reason and morality. No, Father, you were right. He'll always be, to me at least. That sentence, that determination, sealed my life's fate. Father, I'm returning to Britain. Rest assured I'll be back. I don't know how many years it'll take, but please do not lose hope. There was no way I was going to sit back and suck my thumb as the judicial system pondered his fate.
You know what they say about the best kinds of villains being the ones you can actually understand, you know, why they're doing what they're doing. This here, like, fuck, man. My entire perspective on Mao has changed after tonight. The best kinds of villains are the ones you can sympathize with.
I returned to Danbetsu City, packed my bag, and said goodbye to Kyosuke and Mother. But I like both villains that you can sympathize with, and fucking, like, really relevant. Or if there's a word to it, but, like, one that you can truly see as the bad guy. Like, despite his similarities, this dude is still wrong. Because I hate fucking all the fucking new trend of, like, every bad guy just being sympathizable.
Just somebody who's
and having
just misunderstood. It's like, no, that's not how you do it.
Can't we just have a fucking villain? Like, that's why I liked Joker.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you sort of understand him, but
wrong,
like, fuck,
but
he's
you
still
understand
a villain.
why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Those are the best kind of villains, dude.
I hate the fact that the trend of turning villains into anti-heroes for the sake of it.
That's not good. Anti-heroes
and in the end,
they're not villains.
Yeah, in the end, they just have no depth, but fuck, I love a villain with good depth. They were both worried of my departure, but wallowing in our sorrows wouldn't save Father. I entrusted Mother to Kyosuke and returned to Britain. My only miscalculation pertained to the beast named the Zaigonzo. The Yakuza debt collectors wouldn't relent on Father's debt merely because he was in jail. Mother left behind her own, fell onto Gonzo's clutches, but I was left in the dark until far later. Alan greeted me with a huge grin at the aforementioned pub.
Yeah, I believe it's aforementioned.
I knew it was just like my brain.
Yep.
I'll try to see you again. I asked my one question bluntly. If I follow you, will I gain enough power to free a prisoner from jail? Alan's gazed when he looked at me, then changed for the very first time. I just procure mercenaries. I had no idea you wanted to be a terrorist. I didn't care what he called it. Terrorist, mercenary, soldier. I didn't care. All I wanted was to find a way to save my father. Well, Work was off for now. Lots of people declare themselves free agents after 2 or 3 years. It wasn't like I didn't have any hesitation towards going with Alan. It would mean having to go years without any contact with my mother in Japan. It was only when I got involved in the London underground bombings that my resolve strengthened. Terrorists, angered by one of Britain's national issues, blew up a subway platform with a suitcase bomb. There were around 500 casualties. And one of them was me, as I walked down the entrance's stairwell. My only injury was a bruised wrist, but I was swept into the waves of panicking commuters and lost my bag, my wallet, and my passport. I jumped out of my seat as I watched the news the next day. On the list of deceased was written Samajima Kiyohei, Japanese. The London police force's half-assed investigation was so infamous that I even heard stories in Japan, so it wasn't all that surprising. For example, a month after I enrolled in college, a friend of mine was arrested. He was charged with sexual assault. Because he had an alibi, he was eating with me at the same time. He was quickly released.
Yep.
Apparently, the police barged in, arresting him merely because his girlfriend accused him.
Wow, it's kind of scary how accurate that is to today.
It was also a strange case involving another university, where an assistant professor was surrounded during a lecture by police toting submachine guns. This too was because of a single testimony, this time by a Pakistani immigrant, because the professor looked similar to a terrorist. In Japan, where people are only arrested after concrete proof of a crime is discovered, these false accusations rarely happen. But in Britain, these false accusations run rampant. The media makes a big to-do about the case nearly every time, ensuring that even after the charges are dropped, the damage has already been done.
A lot of these times, it's not about the arrest. It's about ruining somebody's reputation. It's a hit-and-run job, and it's bullshit.
Yeah. I can understand that Britain has been under terrorist threat for a long time, but it's gotten to the point where it's unsafe to walk around at night. People have been shot in the streets without any attempt at arrest. Thus, I wouldn't be surprised if the man in immigration control assigned to the case was simply too busy shooting heroin to make a call confirming my death. When I was about to tell the embassy that I had merely dropped my passport, Alan stopped me. If you stay dead, I'll shave 5 years off of you fulfilling your dream. It was later when I started working as a mercenary specializing in intelligence gathering that I'd fully realized the advantages of playing dead. Alongside the recruiters, there were also people who sold falsified records. For example, in Britain, there were Indo-Pakistani immigrants who were subcontracted by certain big shots in the mafia. They have a lot of big connections around the world, so as long as your request isn't too unreasonable, they'll help you cover up your past. They sold passports, driver's licenses, and ID cards from various public organizations that allowed access to bank accounts, credit cards, or traveler's checks. You could buy pretty much anything you needed, as long as you had the money for it, of course. But regardless of how sloppy these countries' identity checks were in the face of modernized society, having a dead person pose as a dead person will always be far more reliable and economical than having a living person do so. After all, when you're officially dead, you don't have to worry about being the subject of an ongoing investigations. It also makes it impossible for someone to get an accurate profile of you. Kyohei, you're a man of outstanding talent. Alan wasn't like the average recruiter swaggering around Tomabetse City's Central Boulevard like they owned the place. The only people he had his eyes on were people who seemed promising, even if inexperienced. I had no attempt to answer his expectations. I just signed the provisional contract to fulfill my own goal. The next day, I paid my lodging costs and headed to a rural area on the outskirts of London. At first glance, it was just a regular farm. No, it was a regular farm. There were cows, goats, and sheep, and people milking them without a care in the world. They said the training camp was just the farmer's side job, but was obviously being financed by some conglomerate or syndicate.
Clearly.
In other words, he must have been a high-ranking warlord, and no doubt more than a few mercenaries under contract. Needless to say, he was quite wealthy. And a common aspect of the wealthy in any country would be their propensity for cutting costs. Our lodgings were coarse, our meals mostly scant and vegetarian in nature. I, along with the other fools that fell prey to the temptations of the devil, were assigned to a group of 5 or 6 people. We all then underwent medical and fitness evaluations. During the initial stages, there was a heavy emphasis on exposing any special skills or experience that might be of some use. More often than not, this took the form of intense interrogation. It felt like we were part of some twisted livestock competition. However, since these procedures were only a formality, people like fugitives, deviants, and the like were not filtered out of selection. Britain is a country of varied races, so naturally the people gathered were also quite varied. I was forced into a sweatshop alongside an extremely pale man, and after 3 days I caught a glimpse of a veritable giant sobbing. After having my aptitude harshly evaluated, I was called into another room. Therefore, I was beckoned over by a stern-looking Caucasian dressed in a military uniform. Apparently, the fact that I had told them I was a black belt in karate caught their attention. The man was less intimidating than he looked. I had gotten into a fight on the streets of London once before, but Westerners in general have a tendency to try to subdue you with physical strength. As long as you take the power, proper distance, and avoid their unrefined charges and kicks, one swift counter to the vitals is all it takes. While putting my skills on display like that was an act of suicide in a way, as it resulted in upping the level of training I received. Once you reach the 5th level, they send you off to the battlefield. The facility, given the nickname The Pen, is one of many scattered through Europe. It was indeed common for these war ranchers to camouflage themselves as everyday crop or dairy farms, but in some countries they operated right out in the open. After the cattle parade was over, and I had signed the contract with a mercenary contractor, I was sent to a military school in Switzerland that was famous for churning out soldiers of fortune. My instructor there was a man that went by the Devil. He was a short, slender man, and he was such a gentleman that if it weren't for military uniform, you might mistaken him to be a manager of a fine tailoring business or the like. For someone who went by the Devil, he was fairly mild-mannered. He was nothing like the cruel drill sergeants you might see in a movie. I had heard he was an ex-member of the British Special Forces. Of course, there was sort of an unwritten rule that one mustn't talk about one's past, so to this day I don't know for sure whether that was true or just a rumour. What I do know is that the Devil certainly could display some incredible advanced techniques. Between lights out at 9 AM and the rising 4 AM, the Devil would occasionally launch a guerrilla attack on us while as we slept. The curriculum was divided into field and study. In the field segments, we covered topics such as usage of munitions, marksmanship, and the proper methods of arming and dismantling bombs, sabotage, close quarters combat, and reconnaissance. The study segments covered subjects like communications, navigation, survival, and the like. Due to the harsh training, there were some among us who dropped out, Some even became handicapped after an accident during training. The only reasons things went smoother for me because besides my native Japanese, I was fluent in English, Arabic, German, French, and Spanish.
Guy gets around.
You like playing around, don't you? What a child. One day after a training session in close quarters combat, the devil came over to offer me words in a rare, harsh tone. It's true, I did have a habit of taking my time in finishing off my opponent after getting them to the ground. I held off because I wanted to see how they would react when thrown into a predicament. You had a bit of a smile on your face, you know that? I actually had never noticed it myself, but regardless, it was a rhetorical question. Try paying a little respect to your enemy. I'm not training psychotic murderers here. The British gentry have a set of prerequisite virtues before one can call oneself a gentleman. On one hand, he was teaching us how to kill people. On the other, he was preaching morals. I was probably on edge with murderous excitement at the time. After all, I was being taught how to kill people day in and day out. During meals and breaks, everyone always looked down in silence. We didn't want to see each other's faces. If we did, we probably want to kill each other. Give me a moment.
I have to say, I find that line very true. It does sound a little ridiculous in that context. This is good stuff. Yeah, so that explains why he knows as much as he does. Like I said, the dude gets around. It's incredible. Oh, that's new. I'm just checking some stuff while we wait for Caleb to get back.
Alright, boys. I'm still going to be a part of the stream, but I think I need to do this a little while because I'm a bit irritated. I'm going to disrupt this stream a little bit to have a segment of why relationships with narcissistic fuckwits are annoying. I'm not sure if anyone can hear me at the moment because no one's replying.
Yeah,
but
it's been quiet while we've been on this section with Mao, so I'm listening.
The hilarious part is that I'm annoyed and she's upset for something that I fucking put in a group calendar about a week ago. and she's fucking trying to go at me. It's like, oh, why doesn't he ever follow your schedule? Time zones, you stupid bitch.
Yeah, it's like, it's
You were
kind of hard because
like,
we live in such vastly different time zones. It's hard enough to find time to do stuff as it is.
Yes, and it's just like, like how it was a very rare occasion that you had a fucking opening shift on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not available on any other days because either I'm working or you're working. It's the only time it fucking makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Apologies, I'm gonna make myself a bowl of mushroom soup and I will be back.
Yeah, take your time, man. Okay. It'll take too long though, since still got stuff to do, so think until then, Monty, come to me. I think we'll play Hangman or something until he gets back. I don't know how long it'll take him to make that mushroom soup, but yeah, we're gonna take a quick break. A quick moment to just relax for a bit. Actually, what do you guys think I should play while we are doing a bit of a break? I'm thinking we do Hangman. Just something short that we can play for a bit while we wait for Caleb to get back. I actually gotta pin that to chat till he gets back. Welcome back, DeBombre. We're taking a bit of a break because Caleb is making some soup right now, so we're gonna play some Hangman with Monty, otherwise known as Amber here, while we wait for him to get back. I was about to say, not gonna lie, that thing with the emotes kind of gets in the way of the most recent message. Why does he just go to soup? I don't know. But yeah. I think we're gonna play some Hangman in the meantime. We're gonna do hard like we always do. Get my clothes from there all the time. Okay. Natsuki would like this word the most, huh? 5-letter word. Alright. Now I can leave it up to you guys entirely to guess, or I can give you RSTLNE as if we're on the bonus round of Wheel of Fortune, so what do y'all think? How should we play this? Do A? Okay. There's no A. There's no A. E. There is no E. I think I see what your strategy is, DeBombre. It's one I like to use when I get a short word like this, and RSTLNE is not very helpful. But we'll see. O. Yep. Nope, no O. Yep. This is the strategy I like to use when I got a short word. There is an I, and it is the third letter in a 5-letter word. If you'll recall, Natsuki would like this word the most. And if If you're not familiar with who Natsuki is, I suggest you watch any of my DDLC mod playthroughs. Or my DDLC Plus playthrough. Letter of the day is H. Nope, no H. I honestly have no idea what the word is. D, he says. No D. No good. I'm gonna put your money on... You're gonna put your money on B. Nope. The word was skirt. That's why I like to start with R-S-T-L-N-E. R-S-T. That gets you a lot of mileage. Yuri would like this word the most, and it is a 6-letter word. Okay. K, he says. Nope. Nada. It was a good guess, though, knowing Yuri. A. There is an A. It is the second letter. E. There is an E, and it is at the end. I always feel like that first letter is one of the most important letters to figure out in Hangman. Okay. I'm trying to think what it could be with just the A and the E there. Must be L. Because we already did I, if that is I.
I am
L
back.
If you wanted. Okay,
I am
back.
here. I'm ready to rock you all like a hurricane.
Ah, yes. Perfect. God damn it, he's back. I pinned a message to chat. We were playing Hangman and Moss while you were making your soup.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
And to answer your question, if that was an L you were telling me to put in, there was an L. There was not an O. And I have a feeling I know what the word is. So, let me just see if I'm right here. No, it is not what I thought it was at all. This is why that figuring out that first letter is so important.
I'm so sad that I didn't play through stream.
Oh, I got it now.
I did the
Handle.
soundboard
Handle.
thing, and it didn't actually.
Handle.
It didn't
like the handle of
actually
Yuri's knives.
play. Dude, did you hear the fucking soundboard thing I played?
I did not know.
Aw, damn it!
Let's get back to our
Mod's
story.
ruined.
Oof.
Oof. Alright, so we ready?
Yep, let's get back into it.
Okay, yep. Asking us to respect our enemies as we were being eyed by gun-toting guards was simply preposterous.
Alright, you have a good rest of your day, Brad.
Yeah, I made a creamy mushroom soup today.
Yep.
This was lovely.
That's what you said. I'm glad it turned out nice.
Yeah, good. Really well. Nice and thick.
Very nice.
Yep. I couldn't help but grab my stomach and laugh. Then how do you explain the brutal acts performed by some British soldiers in the last war in the Middle East? Hypocrites honestly believe that the good deeds of few can really save the world over time. You want to put up smoke and mirrors on someone like that, just draw up an analogy on a Grenada scale.
Yep, grander.
No, grander, sorry.
Yep.
Still trying to calm down a little. Mention human nature, talk about a whole nation, discuss the inherent implications of society, currency, or property.
Yep.
Simply start a conversation with something akin to a didactic, no, I do not know that word. Didactic novelist opening, and you're guaranteed a hit or two.
I'm putting that into Google. Yeah, didactic.
Yep, didactic, okay. Let's continue.
Intended to teach particularly and having moral instruction as an ulterior motive.
Hmm.
It's one of my favorite things about playing these.
I was fully prepared to be struck for what I said. But that was the first time I had felt respect for the devil. That's exactly right, child. Where are we right now? A dump, I answered.
I respect the honesty.
That's right, a dump. Right now, an unprecedented terrorism threats. Unprecedented.
Unprecedented.
Unprecedented. Yep, I knew the word, but it's just like it evaded my brain. Unprecedented. Fuck it. Fuck! I'm doing it again. Unprecedented terrorism threatens Japan. People continue to die every second in Africa, but that has nothing to do with us. For we do not live in the world. We live in the individual. And then the lips of the devil, who had just earlier removed his gentlemanly mask, twisted into a smile befitting his name. This facility is one of the most preeminent military academies in all of Europe. Our alumni are, as a whole, either emotionally numb or have their own personal dark beliefs which they cannot or will not shoulder on to anyone else. I expect great things from you, he said as he tapped me on the shoulder. I understood then. Let us assume that right and wrong, good and evil are subjective concepts. Thus, without any objectivity to guide you, without any semblance of reality or fact, one can only truly be a king of evil when living in one's own personal reality, until the bitter end. One, only in one's own mind, can one truly be the devil, the Mao. At any rate, mercenaries aren't trained to become charity workers.
Mm-hmm.
If a cadet fails to graduate from the academy and get on the market after 2 or 5 weeks, he won't make it in the industry. After my graduation, the devil proposed a certain code name to me. His own, the devil, in my native tongue. Mao. However, not a single mercenary or assassin in the world would use such a joke of an alias. Only when I was among companions, or when an operation did not require the use of a code name, did I go by the name Mao. When I did so, I thought back to my old instructor. Granted, that was because by the time I made it to my first battle, the devil had already passed away. They say a new recruit's reaction to his first kill can vary from person to person, but I was so composed at the time that it surprised even my unit commander. I set an ambush for the enemy by taking aim from a hiding place in tall grass, just as I practiced in training. All I did was pump lead into whatever moved. I don't see any reason to be deeply moved over something like that. I could hear murmurs of the devil inside me, breathing into Samajima Kohei's ears. These are not remains, but a body. It is not the dead, but an object. Those whispers protected me from guilt, regret, and escapism. After the battle, An American that had been put on point was crying and muttering to himself, "I'm not a killer. I'm not a murderer. Murderers are people that go after those weak than themselves. I can't be a murderer." Being placed at the front was a form of consideration meant to ensure he didn't fire upon an ally in derangement. When we began to relocate for our next campaign, he suddenly turned around and pointed his gun at an ally. At that exact moment, as if expecting it to happen, the commander shot him dead on the spot. I, too, had my gun at the ready. The lesson I learned that day: making excuses for your actions will only get you killed. I roamed the battlefields as a mercenary for about 2 years. My jobs lasted anywhere from 2 weeks to 5 months. Fuck, that streak's good. I worked as a guard for a diamond mine, participated in the annihilation of a group's fascist guerrillas. I know there's a different pronunciation of that word, but I forgot what it was.
No, it's exactly as it sounds. Guerrillas.
Guerrillas, okay. And even participated in the front lines of a faint operation as a member of an army for a country that did not have its own special forces.
This is kind of cool seeing the background for how he got the name that he uses.
Yeah, just... So the devil gave him his own name in his native tongue. So it was a mercenary code name.
Yep. Almost as a sign of respect, passing the torch from one to another. That's how I see it, anyway.
This game has a lot of fucking, father-son kind of metaphors.
It absolutely does.
You have fucking Azai Kyosuke and Gonzo.
Yep.
You have Usami Haru and her father. You have Samajima Kiyohei to his father. Yep. And now we've got there's fucking that's even another fact. There's fucking Shiratori to her dad.
Yep.
There's fucking Mao to the devil. There's a lot of fucking connecting plots in this. It's fucking cool.
For sure.
And in a way, you can interpret the same as canon to her mother and Tsubaki to her family.
Yeah. I find it very fascinating.
Yeah. I could have sworn I was a goner on that particular job. I got separated from my guide in the middle of a jungle, but I was fortunate enough to stumble upon a spawn and secure a safe water source and made it out alive. 2 years later, I reunited with Alan. Looks like I was right about you. You did it well to make it this far. Relationship between a mercenary and his contractor was like the relationship between a prostitute and the Yakuza drug dealer she buys from. In other words, you're trapped in a hell where no matter how much you work, you will never make a profit. In fact, some of my fellow comrades had been sent to a military school by their contractors, and even after their contracts had expired, in order to provide them with further training. The amount of money you could get as a novice mercenary was no better than the salary you would earn working in a convenience store in Japan. But even so, it was enough money to allow people who came from warring third world countries to feed their family. For years.
Jesus.
It's not like you got into this business for money, is it, Kyohei? That goes without saying. Money was necessary, of course, but in order to put my plan for revenge into actions, I would first need some connections. That's right, revenge. Ending dozens of human lives for no reason in particular had changed my way of thinking. So my dad had killed Usami, Haru, and 3 other people. What of it? They were all vermin. They weren't local military fighting for freedom. They weren't child soldiers from the Middle East who had been taught nothing but how to kill from the very moment they were born. In fact, in my eyes, they were rare examples of people who were killed for a reason. Even if you were to kill a civilian, you would not be court-martialed as long as your side won. And as I saw more and more of these travesties, I came to find the fact that my father was going to a trial at all to be absurd. As a child, I talked about wanting to save my father, now that I found myself driven by the impulse to destroy everything that Japan stood for. You're a free agent now, Kyohei. I hope you don't mind me trying to recruit you again, but as a full-blown merc this time. I told him that I had enough of going into armed conflicts with blazing guns. To be honest, I just wasn't cut out for combat. My main downfall would be my tall build. A bigger body makes for a bigger target.
This is true. Man knows his weaknesses.
Yep. In fact, most of the soldiers you see bragging about their prowess are the ones of normal height and build, people that wouldn't stand out at a glance. Occasionally you'll see one of those big muscle gorillas like they show in the movies. Most of those either meet a quick death or go mad and become useless. To exacerbate the problem, I apparently had a disrespectful habit of treating the whole process as some sort of fearless game.
Oh, jeez. Now I know where he gets it from.
I never actually intended it to be that way, but people had pointed out to me on several occasions that I intentionally avoided striking vital areas. On the battlefields where a split-second judgment could mean the difference between life and death, this was a fatal flaw. As we like to know, our boy likes to play with his food.
Yes, he does. This is true.
However, I had a certain talent in liaisons due to my language studies. For the second stage of my revenge, I began gathering experience in espionage and intelligence. When someone says mercenary, most people generally have the preconception of a soldier, and I was honestly no different.
Yep, a hired gun.
But as one would expect, the jobs requested by clients that put forth the best pay are naturally quite difficult and highly confidential in nature. They usually have months, sometimes even years of planning put into them beforehand. Also, unsurprisingly, these jobs came with harsh prerequisites. One of the reasons Alan wanted to recruit me happened to be because I was Asian. Japanese people are a scarcity among mercenaries.
I see.
Because of this, I was sometimes given opportunities to pose as someone of Taiwanese, Korean, or Hong Kongese descent. Of course, I posed as innocent Japan tourist on occasion. As well, this allowed me to get around and do my work freely without suspicion. I suppose I don't have to go into the importance of information warfare. Needless to say, the pay was on a completely different level compared to when I was an infantryman. But the risk involved justified that. Since mercenary work is not protected under any treaties or agreements, I was in danger of becoming just another unidentified corpse at any time whenever I infiltrated enemy territory with a fake passport. Since a dead man is difficult to track, I quickly earned a reputation as an excellent spy. On one occasion when I was in Moscow placing bids on a military-grade explosives, a very interesting story caught my ear. A famous violinist by the name of Misha Makaru would be playing a concert at a nearby theatre. The officer who told me of this said that there was going to be a high-ranking Arab official in the audience, and that he was keen on cooperating with America. Thus, he wanted to kill him. However, my attention was purely on Misha Makaru herself. Usami Hoshino's wife. Right, let's kill him. The decision was no more difficult than deciding what to eat for breakfast.
Damn, bro.
The officer returned a smile. Having built up a decent number of connections, I gathered a group of men that would do anything for money with the help of my mercenary friends. It mostly comprised bodyguards of high rollers and extensive drug cartels and kidnappers for hire.
So now we see the other side of this.
I acted as the team's commander. In an attempt to misdirect the police force, I leaked information beforehand that there was going to be a bombing at the bank across the city. It worked rather well as the operation went off quite smoothly.
Yep, it was a diversion.
I smuggled in the C4 personally. The image of a Japanese tourist, that incredible fee pass to whatever event you may desire access to, worked brilliantly. I succeeded in placing the detonator and then waited until Misha Makaru's performance to set off. When I finished off Misha Makaru as she lay half dead from the blast, I felt a strange sense of anticlimax, like I had just finished my taxes or something. It was then when I first met her daughter, Usami Haru. She called herself Hero, probably from insanity induced by fear. People may be right about me when they say I have an irreverent habit of playing around. The video games I played with Kyosuke always had a righteous story about a hero whose village was burned to the ground. After coming to terms with the loss of his family, the hero would gain power over time and eventually come to defeat the evil demon lord that is Mao. If someone were to ask me why I didn't kill her, I could only answer that it was because it would be more interesting that way. No. To be absolutely honest, the conscience which I was sure I had purged began to ache. A father is a father and a daughter is a daughter. I remember feeling that way even after killing her innocent mother. My common sense ethics had warned me against slaughtering a young child. Yet as the years passed, I ended up forgetting about Usami Haru. Anyway, I decided to let her off then, especially since I had to worry about escaping the authorities in time. After that, I tried to check up on my father's situation in Japan.
Oh boy.
Sentence from the first trial was death.
Yep.
My worst fears had become reality. Granted, whether he received life in prison or a mere 5 years, I still intended to putting my plan into action. Luckily, my father had apparently taken what I said to heart, as he was in the process of appeal. But the real kicker was what truly bothered me was my mother's situation. When I secretly went to see her, I found her in a hospital bed. From what information I could gather, seemed that she had been diagnosed with a mental illness. Furthermore, she had been living alone for quite some time. Alone, I thought? Where had Kyosuke gone off to? When I discovered the answer to that question, I seethed with rage. My little brother, the one I had entrusted mother to, had been adopted by all people as Igonzo, and was devoting himself to the pursuit of pittance profit. I had changed so much that even my mother failed to recognize me.
Yeah, so He basically feels like he's the only one in his family that's doing anything, really. Is what I'm gathering from this. That's at least what I'm gathering from the way he talks about his family.
Granted, like, it makes sense and it's horrible.
It is.
I grew more deeply absorbed in my preparations. When one works in the field of espionage long enough, one inevitably meets fellow intelligence workers from the private sector, namely from trading corporations. And when that corporation is as gargantuan as the Snow Corporation, it would not be unheard of to not employ a few people with the little task of selling copious information stumbled upon by the company. I grew close to one such person and through him to the CEO. At the time, Snow was experiencing a few problems common to multi-billion-dollar enterprises. Meeting sales quotas in $1 million company is simple. One needs to sell a few Mercedes-Benzes or a yacht or two to maintain growth and revenue. A $1 billion company, though, is something else entirely. It's a near impossibility to hold such incredible capitalistic power without dipping into military affairs. In Snow's defense, they did have a secret factory in Latin America running to supply weapons to third world countries, but in the end, it amounted to a mere fraction of the percent of the arms dealing business as a whole.
Yep.
Thus, I propose that they use another company under their umbrella to export manufactured weapons out of Japan. Fucking Shiratori Construction. Weapon
holy shit.
exports are outlawed in Japan. That is why they would lead to profit if successful. There are a good number of independent weapons dealers in the world, people that sell out of an attaché case. I set them up with Sano, established a few bases among fishing harbours in Japan, and cultivated a market. We set out from harbours in Nagita and Fuki, then made deliveries over the seas to North Korea vessel. From there, we formed a land route to Pyongyang and Vladivostok. Is that German? Once in Russia.
I don't know.
Yeah, or Russian. Once in Russia, we sent our goods all the way to Moscow, and at that point, we didn't have to worry about being tracked. Furthermore, while bribes won't work on customs officials in Japan, classic smuggling tricks like triple walling or shipping containers can sometimes get your exports through. While spearheading Sano's darkest dealing, Mao was busy with a business plan of his own. I consulted with Alan. Do you want to start up a mercenary contracting organization in Japan? Alan's eyes sparkled. He no longer treated me as the greenhorn child I once was. He now recognized me as a fully independent adult. I know the Japanese are in high demand. That's why I had my eyes on you, but Japan is a prosperous country. Who do you think is going to apply? I can't imagine there's much profit to be had. I myself was raised in a wealthy family, but regardless of race or homeland, there will always be people in need, not of money, perhaps, but of fulfillment, at the very least. For example, children burdened with the future. To a Westerner like Alan, the Japanese give off the impression of a very polite, punctual and communal people, always concerned with what their family and other people think. For example, corporate scandals are publicly apologized by a representative of the company. In the West, even heinous criminals don't apologize to the bereaved families very often. Some theorize that this sort of peer pressure or desire to fit in formed a loose standard that functioned as a sort of deterrent against the emergence of violent criminals within Japan. But in recent years, the change in social environment has weakened the sense of unity among Japanese, a trend marked by the rise of individualism. Heinous crimes committed by young children who received insufficient love and attention at home or have been ostracized by their peers in the community have gradually started to grab people's attention. I spoke to Alan about what I had read in a certain book, and then informed him of my own original, delightful little proposal. Why don't we try giving them guns?
Jesus.
For example, bullying is a problem in every developed nation, yet for some reason, child suicide rates in Japan stand out as exceptionally high. You don't know how much this saddens me, Alan. If this were America, they would have the option to grab a gun and join a gang. If we discover talented individuals and then give them the proper training, you can bet they'll justify our investment when they become capable warriors. This procedure, almost akin to kidnapping, proved to be fairly successful in the West. After all, acting as a mercenary recruiter is a pretty extreme job, and while their numbers have certainly decreased, they're still in operation across many regions in Europe even to this day. You have my full support. Mao. Thusly, I began my roaming through the streets of Japan. My first targets were the children of corporate presidents and the bastard children of politicians. The rationale behind this choice was that if their training turned out to be a bust, I would at least be able to use them as hostages for ransom from their parents.
Yep.
I soon began to target low-ranking members of organized crime rings as well, and then members of biker gangs or the like who would soon be on their way into organized crime. The talent I sought was that of pitiful children who faced unjust treatment within their family, school, or workplace. Children with nowhere to turn but to violence. One of my many pleasures was watching these children grow. I loved to see what they did with themselves after learning how to sell cocaine or being given weapons to rob a bank. The information network among children in Japan was not to be underestimated, as rumors about Mao quickly spread. Eventually, I did not have to go looking for talent. Talent came to me. In all seriousness, though, it should be noted that it's natural for a boy to want to see a 44 Magnum at least once in his life. A troubled family's background isn't necessarily a factor there.
Yeah, I mean, you know what they say. 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world.
Anyway, among these children was an exceptional example of talent, Tokita Yuki. My experience with the female mercenaries were limited solely to rumors as a testament to how rare they must be. It was such a shame that Tokita turned out to be an acquaintance of Isami's. Now then.
Oh boy, we're back to present day.
It's about time to get started.
Here we go.
The Supreme Court rejected my father's appeal for clemency just the other day. I made it just in the nick of time. If my father had been killed, my revenge would have no doubt spread beyond the city's borders. I look up at the Snow Building. The place my father once worked, and the place I utilized to assist in my arms smuggling. It's finally time to pay the piper, Sano. I'm here to collect my dues from the despicable organization that unjustly covered for Usami Yoshinori and sentenced my father to capital punishment. The only remaining worries of the hero and my traitorous kid brother Kyosuke. You like playing around, don't you? What a child. I close my eyes and the image of that old Swiss training center comes to mind as I hear my instructor's voice. I am no longer a child, devil.
This is it.
What a fucking...
That was incredible.
Yeah, that was a scene.
That was amazing.
Fucking... Like, getting to see Mao, like, become who he is. Like, no fucking,
what a
like...
journey that little segment was. like I said earlier before we had even finished it, like, my entire perspective on this character has changed.
Like, he's not good in any slight, but fuck, he is still terrifying.
Fuck, do you understand more, about why he's doing what he's doing?
But that still doesn't take away that this dude is fucking terrifying. Now we know that now he's set his mind to something. He's not going to stop until he's seen it through.
Oh yeah, with how much he's invested into it, yeah, you best believe he has the means and the intention to see it through.
Fucking hell.
Here we go.
The truth.
The next day, I invited Tokita to my apartment. How did Miss Noriko react?
She forgave me for the most part. Yuki, let us be there for you.
Something tells me she's not the type to depend on others.
Last time I think we were in this room, our boy Kyosuke violently injected his seed into Usami.
They were talking about that, yeah.
Yeah.
Then we went on that whole adventure with Mao, and now we're back.
Yep. By the way,
somehow
that
discontent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Now you can tell me all about Mao.
I don't know all that much.
Tokita started at the beginning, when she first met Mao. The more I heard, the more I understood Mao's true power. So what did Mao want from you in return?
You never made that clear. I always assumed you wanted to use my father.
I don't get it. What's he trying to do, gathering these children? Mao seemed to like playing with people's minds. Yeah, that much was evident from the story.
Yeah.
Where is Mao hiding?
Very close to this apartment complex. Not to scare you, I should mention, however, this particular location is likely one of his lairs.
Yep, only one of several that he has. Well, we have to start somewhere.
Too late. I checked in and it was completely empty.
Oof. Not a single hint?
No. In fact, he left the door unlocked, presumably to mock me. I searched the place from top to bottom, but there wasn't even a single strand of hair on the floor.
Tokita spoke up as if pondering something.
It seems Mao went to the Snow Corporation building often. Yeah, something suspicious was going down there yesterday as well.
Then, as if she'd just thought of something, Usami pulled out the notebook she had sketched a portrait in yesterday.
Have you ever seen this foreigner?
She seems to recognize him. Her eyes narrowed.
Tokita's eyes narrowed. Yep, sorry. I met him once. He said he was a mercenary.
A mercenary?
His name was, Alan, was it? That's likely a fake name, though.
Yep. Mao's contractor. Yep, the guy that first recognized that this Mao guy has something that very few people do. What did he talk to you about?
Yeah. He was talking a little bit about his experiences on the field of battle. He said he long retired, though. It seemed as if he and Mao went back quite a bit.
This makes me all the more uneasy. Seeing as he managed to reel you of all people in, Tokita, Mao must be a highly skilled negotiator, correct?
He's a born linguist. Furthermore, he seemed to have studied the basics of negotiation, at least the textbook side, but above all, his skill comes from his ability to deceive people. He's so talented, you think he's mentally ill.
What do you mean by that?
Sociopaths occasionally lie without realizing they're doing so. I don't think he's quite a sociopath, but his ability approaches that level. Mao has no qualms about killing people.
I nodded with a disgusted expression. The more I hear, the more I sigh. He's no longer the Kyohei I once knew. The strong, kind older brother who played video games with me. Mao's aim is to free my father, Samajima Toshikatsu.
Then, with all the hordes of henchmen, weapons and funds, Mao must be going to threaten someone with the power to free a convicted criminal. He'll say he's planted a bomb somewhere or the like.
Either that, or take hostages and hole himself up in the Senjou Corporation headquarters. They both nodded at what I said. Perfectly plausible scenario. I think Mao has a grudge against the Senjou Corporation. Dad's trial was completely biased toward Usami for some reason. The backstory, the fact you could sympathize with what Dad did, was barely touched upon in court, and was never widely reported. It's been rumored that the current director of Senjou's senior management, one Mr. Somiya, might have been keeping it covered up. They say that if Usami's evil deeds had been let out of the bag, Somiya would have been arrested too. Let's scout around downtown for now. Usami went with me. You have to babysit Shiratori, right, Tokita? She laughed.
Thanks for helping me out, Kyosuke.
Whatever. Just get the money ready.
I'll be in touch. Say hi to Misa and Sabaki for me.
We stepped outside. It was terribly cold. Well, I blame that up to you guys, because that is something you have complete control over.
What's going on?
Oh, I'm just responding to that line, because as many times as I've seen that in this game, I'm like,
It was terribly cold.
Then do something about it. How many times that somebody has complained about how cold it is in this game? It's like, then do something about it. Like, fuck me, for the life of me, I'll never understand that. It's like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, it's more sprite work, sure. But fuck, if they're gonna complain about it, let them do something about it, damn it.
Looks like it snowed last night.
Again. The winter cold pierces my skin. Looks like it'll snow again today, too. You could have fooled me with the lighting.
Oh yeah.
Oh?
Oh yeah.
Here's an unexpected call. Oh my god!
Oh.
How long has it been since we heard from you, girl? Where you been? How's America?
Hiya! What's up, Nissan?
Yo, you overseas right now?
Yup, cell phones really have evolved.
It was canon, as carefree as ever. That brings a smile to my face.
Yep.
Did Papa Ray really die?
Someone must have called her about it. The wake is today. You don't have to drop everything to come back.
I'm already at the airport.
Alright then. Call me when you land.
Yay! Are you gonna come pick me up?
Later.
Wait!
I hang up, cutting her off.
Oh.
We'll just have to wait till you get back. Oh god,
Hell,
Cannon is not
coming
ready
on.
for this. Cannon is not ready for this. You've missed so much, girl. Oh.
Yeah, you're like
In fact,
2 routes ago.
you did yourself a favor going off to America. You did yourself a favor there, Cannon.
Yeah, Gonzo was gunned down, or well, I think he was blown up first and then gunned down.
Yup. That's just the beginning, too. Cannon
Just
didn't
imagine
seem
if
too
I'm
shocked.
guessing, just like he just goes to
Probably
Cannon.
doesn't have
By
the
the
time,
way,
as we've discussed previously, to care
it's
about
also
this.
like, by the way, you might have an evil older brother.
Oh god. Oh, like I said, Cannon. Oh. Fuck. There we go. There we go.
Just
Cannon
no, even
didn't
better.
seem
It's
too
like,
shocked.
by the way, my evil older brother might have tried to kill your mother.
Uh-huh. She might be in
Fuck
denial
it up.
about Gonzo's death. Now that I think about it, I can't help but pity Cannon. A popular figure skater with a Yakuza boss father. Gonzo's threats have kept the scandal surrounding Cannon to a minimum, but from now on, who knows? And just by being Gonzo's daughter, she's almost certainly going to face some discrimination in the future.
Oh yeah. Azai-san?
Yusami looked over at me in an attempt to read my mind. Yusami. A single member's dark path can lead a whole family to hell. I know that better than anyone.
What's the matter? Have you fallen in love with me?
I had sex with this girl, and consensually at that.
Don't stare at me like that. I'm getting all embarrassed.
This just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Aha! This must be the reason I feel so off. Mind coming with me to the city offices?
For a marriage license?
In contrast to Yusami's fooling around, I wasn't in the mood for jokes. A few hours later.
I miss moments like this.
They have been few and far between since we made it to this point.
Yeah. What's wrong with you leaving your fiancé at a hamburger joint?
They said I needed 2 witnesses, so it took a while.
You will explain what's going on here, won't you, Azai-san?
I'm not Azai anymore.
Huh?
I just renounced my adoption. I'm no longer Gonzo's foster son. From now on, I'm Samajima Kiyosuke.
Whoa. Seriously? Why?
Damn, bro. It's a big move. That's a bold move. Just felt like it. Call it closure, I guess.
But are you alright with that?
Yeah. Gonzo's dead and all. There's no point in continuing to leech off his name.
What should I call you now? From now on?
Whatever you want. Why not Kiyosuke?
That's embarrassing, addressing you without an honorific.
Renouncing my adoption does nothing but swap out one government printout for another, but I somehow feel as if a weight's been lifted off my shoulders.
Our boy is no longer called Azai.
Yep. Mom is dead, Kyohei became Mao, and Dad... I've done nothing but run away all this time. I should go see Dad.
Wait. You and Cannon aren't siblings anymore, are you?
What about it?
Nothing, I'm just a little jealous.
Please, Haru. Please. You'd be cuter keeping quiet about things like that.
You think?
Let's just head to the business district. We made our way to the Sanoa Corporation building. Must be a weekend. There's an abnormal number of people out today.
Things were a lot quieter out here yesterday. Yeah, I noticed. I gave it a bit of a watch. I'm unsure about it since I have read all the comics, but I'll give it a watch when it comes out.
Central Boulevard was as lively as usual.
Our boy!
He's back! Yes! He's back!
Yes!
Oh yes, how long I've been waiting for you to make your return, boy.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Our
Everybody's
favorite
coming
character.
back together. Yes, as we've discussed, the best character in the game. I saw somebody post a trailer to that on the server.
Yeah, I'm not personally interested in it. I just wasn't ever a fan of One Piece.
Yo, it's been a while. Still kicking, eh?
My line, bro. When I heard about the whole shebang from Yuki-sama, why are you two keeping all to yourselves?
No reason. I almost missed school, you know.
What happened? Oh, what happened to Miss Naoko? Tekichi-san?
Been a while since we've heard that name.
Yeah.
Itekichi.
The
I
Tekichi-san.
finally figured out how to say it after all this time. Itekichi.
Atekichi-san.
That sounds the most natural to me.
Yeah. She's my woman these days. I was all sweet to her during that thing at the school, so she fell for me. I'm on my way to a date with her now, actually.
I wonder about that.
I made sure she didn't bear a grudge against Yuki-sama over the hostage case. You're a real lifesaver.
Aichi doing Aichi things.
Aichi, our boy is Aichi, my man.
Around town lately.
Aichi, our boy getting in that MILF honey.
Mm-hmm. Never change.
Yeah. Rumors?
Concerning Mao or anything?
Nah, but something was going down last night.
Yeah, this we know. What do you mean?
No less than 10 big trucks were hauling ass up Central. It was apparently some kind of publicity stunt for a local club.
Really?
Real? I don't think
somehow I
that's it.
doubt that. Somehow I doubt that.
Are you sure about that?
10? You don't see that every day.
And did you hear about what happened on the main road through the business district?
Are you talking about the maintenance work going on up there? The thing about the sewage pipes or something?
Yeah, they were fixing some burst pipes.
So the road's closed off then?
No, it's just the beginning. Apparently some punk had been smoking too much crack or something up and attacked one of the workers there.
That's going a bit too far for a prank, even if the kid was
Because
high.
I was high.
This game predicted the whole meme of, it's just a prank, bro. Wow.
It's just a prank, bro. Stab.
This game's foresight is incredible. It predicted the whole thing of, it's just a prank, bro. And how far people would take that shit. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Alright, thanks. Later.
It's just a prank, bro. The fucking phone book would totally stop a fucking Desert Eagle.
Oh yeah, totally would stop a 50 cal.
Yeah, it'll go through not only the book, but their chest.
Oh yeah. You need some serious armor to stop that.
Oh, yeah. Good luck with your date. Yeah, well, I don't know what's gotten into you two, but you better not go sticking your beaks into any more dangerous situations.
He saw us off with an uncharacteristically serious expression.
What are we doing that we have to go all the way to the Sonoda's headquarters for? Getting ourselves into a dangerously sticky situation?
Exactly. Scouting. We'll pretend to be clients and snoop around. If we're lucky, we might even get a glimpse of Mao, or Hashimoto, or that foreigner. I met the director of senior management, a guy named Somiya, when Sano was developing the Eastern District. Not saying that gives me a right to barge in and make an emergency appointment with him, but it's a passable excuse for being in the building. Oh man. The front entrance to the Sano Corporation headquarters. Through all this time, we finally get to see the inside of the building.
Yes.
More than just that one room that we see Mao in at different points in the story. Oh man. The build up to this moment. Despite the weekend, the building is in full swing. 2 black luxury sedans were stopped in front of the doors.
Zai-san, is that?
Politician steps out of the vehicle, surrounded by bodyguards in black suits. It's a man named Imangawa Sunio. Probably pronouncing that wrong, but I don't know. I did my best. It's a party leader in the government and is on the news fairly often. He has quite the influence in the federal government. He serves the Prime Minister devoutly, acting as the spokesman for most of his policies, and there are rumors that he'll run for the party presidency next term.
Does Mao have connections with politicians as well?
If that's the case, he's probably not an enemy we can tackle on our own.
Haru-chan? Is that you, Haru-chan?
A voice suddenly calls out behind us.
Well, hey, Yuya-san, what's up?
Friend of yours?
Yes,
Yuya Yuya. He has a baby face, but a tight body reminiscent of a gymnast.
What a pleasant surprise. Are you doing well? My dad has been wondering how you've been these days, too.
He had a gentle smile, one so bright it was almost blinding. Hey.
Oh, good to see you again. We met just a few days ago, remember the rooftop?
He was the man who sparked the return to my oldest memories of Usami.
So, you two have finally been reunited.
He seemed to be really happy about it. Yeah.
That's wonderful. You two were like a little couple when you were together. Now they're a big couple.
Yeah. That they are. She looks so adorable like that. Meanwhile, Zach's just like, someone taught a monkey how to play Minecraft. Evolution just went, the world's changing. It's time we change too.
I'm sorry for ignoring you entirely back then. You were a strange one. I could never get up the courage to talk to you.
This man's atmosphere was somewhat familiar to Tsubaki's, actually. He had the smell of someone who grew up in a happy family and led a happy life.
Oh, have you two eaten? No. It's just about lunchtime, so if you don't mind, why not join me?
I accepted Iwai's offer. Okay, I guess Sanoa Corporation building is gonna have to wait. Yeah, sure. We could eat lunch on the rooftop. Like old times. Hey, that works too. Now I have an excuse for being in the Sanoa Corporation building. Smooth.
Yes.
Unaware of my ulterior motives, Iwai smiled.
That sounds fantastic. There's a great cafeteria on the third floor. A business officer like this has a cafeteria in it?
I bet this place has everything.
Of course, we have a restaurant, a post office, and even a tailor. In fact, I think we just got a dentist the other day.
Fuck, I think you're gonna be telling me there's a swimming pool in there somewhere. These large corporations really are something else. Yeah, they want to be able to provide everything for their employees so that they stay and never leave.
Employees.
Ever.
Yes. Let's be on our way then.
He held out his hand to us like a gentleman. They say you can tell the kind of life a person has led by looking at his hands. I'm not that perceptive, but even I noticed Iwai's rough hand contrasting his noble, gentle, superficial appearance.
Oh, I worked part-time as a day labourer when I was younger.
He defends himself shyly. He must have noticed my staring. Yeah, mine are usually pretty dry from all the cardboard I'm handling during the day. Yeah, almost 5 years of that'll do it to you. His father may be a Sanoa executive, but he doesn't have the air of a spoiled child with no concept of hardship. Why Yuya is the kind of guy I can't look straight in the eyes. Meanwhile...
Oh.
This should be interesting. A handful of men swaggered to the Sanoa Corporation boardroom. Though Alan may be retired from the mercenary business, he still walks with complete silence. The other three mercenaries posing as visiting businessmen were glancing at their surroundings. There's nothing strange about a few suits carrying briefcases through a general trading company. Something tells me We might be looking through Mao's eyes right now.
Yeah.
I think it was this here. That's usually this game's sign of a transition.
Yeah. Let's find out.
They had carefully studied the map of this building beforehand. They could make it to their destination with closed eyes. That destination was Director Somiya's office, on the 49th floor. As we suspected, he was busy with another visitor. Beside the locked door was a card reader, its red light shining to ward off any intruders. Ignoring the presumptuous LED, I slid a forged card through the slot and opened the door. It is
Sorry
indeed.
to interrupt.
It is indeed. Here we go.
I courteously apologize as we walk into the wide room. You... Director Mia and the politician Imagawa was sitting down on leather sofas. Imagawa's secretary and 3 Sano officials were also present. But, last but not least, 2 Secret Service men stood behind Imagawa. Bulges the size of pistols stood out from under their suit jackets. Who are you? How did you get in here? One of the officers, a greedy middle-aged man, was in panic. It's been a while, Mr. Samir. How have you been? All the men in the room shifted their gaze onto Somiya. They're interrogating him with glares, asking, "You know these intruders?" This is the first time we've met during the day. Now that I see you in the light, I can say for certainty that you're as young as I thought. He spoke with resignation. What do you want, Mao? You're a brave man. I like that you refuse to hide my identity even in this situation. You're an important business partner. I'll take this opportunity to introduce you to everyone. This man has been supporting the Sano Corporation behind the scenes. Pleased to meet you. You're a representative in Imagawa, correct? Imagawa's face contorted a bit in response. I had obviously known about Imagawa's meeting with Somiya beforehand. It's time to pay the piper, Mr. Samir. I'm here to collect for these many years of service. Is that so? He nodded like he was prepared for this.
Oh boy.
Samir-san, what's going on here? The second Imagawa turned to face Samir.
Damn!
The sound of gunshots rang out and the 2 Secret Service men fell to the floor.
Perfectly practiced. Jesus Christ.
1 bullet to the head each. It served as a splendid performance. After a brief moment of shock, the screams of executives filled the air. Quiet. We won't kill you. The only ones not screaming were Somiya and Imagawa. As Zach says it, sus lines, sus music, all around sussiness, final conclusion now.
Indeed.
What's your agenda? He has no problem finding words even in this situation. Top-notch politicians are made of different stuff. This is a nice office, Director. I look around the room. You've even got a bathroom and refrigerator over there for keeping your beer cool. Yeah, along with a few snacks. It's just about perfect for spending a night or 2 at the office. That's ideal. Now everyone put your hands on your head until I tell you otherwise. Right, like that. Gather in the corner of the room. Somiya encouraged everyone to follow my orders. Listen to what I say, serious. You are awfully obedient. I always knew this day would come. Your name is Mao, after all. You want to go in to press the emergency button under your desk? Samir feebly smiled. The Metropolitan Police have no chance against people who kill 2 Secret Service in an instant. You would be wise to give up too, Imagawa. Don't get any silly ideas. Imagawa had his arm to his chest, looking for a chance to get something from his pocket. He was most likely trying to get in contact with his bodyguards waiting outside. I was satisfied with the results. Now, there are 3 places in this building where we need to secure right away. The first is the 49th floor, including Samir's office. We're currently there, and that has been secured satisfactorily. We've succeeded in capturing the hostages. Next is the 47th floor's computing room, which controls the entire building.
Oh boy.
A single supercomputer housed there regulates a skyscraper's ventilation, heating, electricity, and telephone system. If we can commandeer it, we can control all the passages in the building, be they fire doors, emergency shutters, or the main gate. Lastly, we need to keep our eyes on the rooftop. This is the most likely insertion point for any police operation against us. We need to have someone guarding the rooftop at all times. Alan, I'm leaving this place to you for now. I patted Alan's shoulder and left the room.
Oh boy.
Shit.
The fated meeting.
To tell the truth, I always wanted to be friends with you guys as a kid.
He happily reminisces as he prods his lunchbox with his
So
chopsticks.
these lot are having lunch while this is all happening.
Yeah, the contrast is insane.
Oh yeah. He happily. I saw you two up here a lot.
Was there some atmosphere around us that made us seem unapproachable?
Yeah, you two are dating, right? Oh, his eyes are.
I shook my head. No way. Come on, Brad. I don't speak shapes and houses. I speak English. Fucking love that line. I've got it saved. I've got it saved.
Yeah.
In my stream notes folder. I don't know what I titled it, but it's somewhere in here.
Yeah. Ow.
Yep, there it is.
Found it?
Yeah. The exact quote. I can't even say it with a straight face. I don't speak houses and squiggly lines. I only speak bridge.
Alright.
I can't say it with a straight face. I fucking can't. I can't do it. Oh my god. That line just cracks me up so much. I'm screenshotting that. I'd love to know what that says. I would love to know what that says.
Let's continue.
Yeah, you saw me
I see.
upset.
Oh, I smiled like
Tsubaki
Tsubaki again. Oh, sorry.
Are you single? For some reason, I felt the need to know.
Yuya-san's father was trying to convince me to marry Yuya, so I guess, or am I wrong?
I groaned.
Oh, geezer. Can't believe you're still going on about that.
Wait, really? Are Usami and EY that close?
Don't get the wrong idea, though. My dad's just really respected Haru-chan's father, so he feels sorry for her.
Well, it's not like I care. Okay, I did kind of care, but I couldn't help but get a little pissy.
Sorry if I upset you. I'm 26 now, so my father is always going on about me finding a good wife.
You saw me? Good wife? He has quite strange tastes.
There he goes, sulking again.
I stood up and walked over to the fence encircling the rooftop. I looked down upon the cityscape from the skyscraper's roof. This place really has grown. The city has annexed dozens of nearby towns and suburbs, simply to house its rapidly expanding economy and its workers. When I first met Usami, there wasn't even a central boulevard. I looked straight down. I'm not afraid of heights, but the sheer power of the sight sends shivers down my back. The window cleaning gondola hanging from the outer wall just emphasizes how far from the ground I am.
Thinking back on old times?
A little bit. Just then, the rooftop steel door opened. Oh boy. A dark-skinned, chiseled-faced man stood behind it. The tall foreigner glared at the three of us. He's wearing a suit and carrying a briefcase. I assume he's an employee taking a break.
Down the staircase with the low view.
He spoke rather fluent Japanese. Couldn't tell if he looked to be in his 20s or his 40s. Another similarly dressed foreigner followed him onto the rooftop. They both had stern looks in their eyes.
Is something the matter?
The foreigner ignored Iwai's question and reached for his pocket. I felt a chill run down my spine.
Angel of Death!
Oh boy.
I said get in here.
With an intimidating tone of voice, he pointed a gun at us.
Who are you? Just do as I say.
The other man had also pulled a gun.
You're our hostages now.
It took me a while to comprehend his words.
As of 1300 hours, this building is under our control. Now do as we say. Go with this man right here.
He finishes addressing us and orders the other man in English.
Azai-san.
Usami mutters next to me. Yeah. A takeover? Being faced with something like that so suddenly just doesn't seem real. But if it's Mao, then...
Okay.
Ui looks over to us with a taut face. All we could do is put our hands up and obey. Here we go.
My walkie-talkie beat and informed me of the freshest news. So you've got the computer room under control then. What about the 48th floor? All clear, they report. As you gather extra hostages, the more the better. Non-resistant women in particular would be optimal. After a while, there was a report from the rooftop. The rooftop secured. Good. Was there anyone there? An employee and 2 kids. We're currently heading to the 48th floor. Very good. But kids? There's some employees' children seeking. Either way, they'll make for good hostages.
Oh, just you wait, boy. Just you wait.
The light indicating the 48th... Oh, sorry.
Jinx.
Oh, god damn it.
Urged on by guns, we stepped off the elevator. We were greeted by a wide office, divided into partitions. A bunch of men and women had been rounded up near the window. There was a man with a gun looking down at them. The foreigners who had brought us down prompted us to join the herd of people.
Azai-san.
Ui whispered as he walked behind me.
The passageway there to the left leads to an emergency staircase.
I look over in the direction he says, and there's an emergency exit light. It's about 10 meters away.
Big hurry trying to run.
Wait. What's he planning to do? However, Iwai didn't care about my apprehensions. Right then, Iwai began to moan behind me.
It hurts.
He falls to his knees. The foreigner behind us points his gun at Iwai. Stand up! He shouts in English.
Jinx.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Got me back.
Yeah.
Iwai hunches over, holding his stomach in mock pain. The man shouts something again and grabs Iwai's suit. At that exact moment, I grab Usami's arm. Damn it! Usami almost tripped, but she managed to keep up. Stop! Sounds of a struggle rose up behind us. It was a veritable rain of gunfire, screams, and shouts. I just run in a frenzy. We turn into the passage and jump into the darkness of the emergency corridor. We jump down 2 or 3 stairs at a time in the dim light. Gunshots blare out again. Before my body can freeze from fear, I force my legs into their next step. I hear Usami's rough breathing beside me.
They're gaining on us.
Even now, Usami is composed. Thanks to her composure, she was able to notice the incoming footsteps above us. This ain't no game of tag. They're blazing down here with incredible speed. Usami, you keep running. On a landing of the stairwell, I suddenly stop running.
No!
Do it! Our pursuers are already just 1 flight of stairs away.
Let your dreams come true!
I can hear them breathing like hounds.
Izai-san!
Stop fucking around! This is no time to argue. I frantically run up the stairs I just bolted down. Usami's sobs reach my ears. Yes, this is suicide. I'm making an unarmed stand against gun-toting terrorists. What a silly way to die. But it's rather fitting for swine such as myself.
Yosuke! Did the hostages get away? Apparently the 2 kids from before had run off. It's not a problem. Just go ahead and close the 46th floor's fire shutters. That should blockade the upper floors. Running around after a pair of kids is a waste of effort. We'll take complete control of the remaining top floors. We had wanted to take as many hostages as possible, but losing 1 or 2 won't hinder our plans. It depends on the 2. Return to your stations. For now, it's important that the plan moves ahead uninterrupted.
Suddenly, a strange noise echoed in the emergency stairway. An alarm went off. It was followed by a groaning, like a caterpillar backhoe forcing its way around a construction site. Shutters come down.
Watch out!
When I turn and look, I see a gun pointing in my direction. The bullet grazes my cheek. I lose my balance and fall to the ground. But there was no second bullet. A thick shutter had come down in front of me, saving us from the pursuers. I can finally breathe properly again.
Izai-san, are you hurt?
I'm fine. I have no idea what just happened, but I managed to escape death by a hair's breadth. My limbs freeze, then start shaking.
We were both in such a frenzy.
What about Iwai? Usami silently shook her head. There was no way she could know. Nope.
Another report came in. The kids had indeed gotten away. Apparently an employee suddenly attacked one of the men in an attempt to cover for them. Is that brave man dead? They say they beat him with the back of their weapons until he lost consciousness. What a commendable man. Nurse him well.
That face.
Now, I wonder how things are going on the outside. Whole truth. Looks like we're on the 46th floor.
Yeah, and it seems they really have taken the place over. I finally calmed down now. Why didn't you run, like I told you to?
You've already saved me once recently.
What, the thing with Tokita? I was just frantic in the heat of the moment. Next time you'd better listen to what I say. For now, let's just get out of the building.
But Yuya-san...
There's nothing we can do for him now. I spoke without hesitation. It's not like we can just barge in there and save him. What do you think he sacrificed himself for anyway?
I know, but...
But what? Are you that indebted to him?
Yeah, well, yeah, but what about Mao?
I couldn't help but laugh. Are you still trying to catch Mao? Have you ever seen the movie Die Hard? I'm not Bruce fucking Willis. What a reference, because I was thinking that's exactly what this feels like, this situation. Like, they knew exactly what they were doing. It's a good reference to make, though. I'm fucking proud of them for that. Oh my god. Hats off to the writers here. Hats off to these devs. The boom from the gunshot that grazed me is still ringing in my ears. It's a miracle we're even alive. Sami finally nodded. She must have realized how desperate the situation is.
Anyway, this place is too dangerous.
You don't say! Right. Let's get out of here. Come on, Haru. I don't want to put you in any more danger. My mouth started moving on its own.
Thanks.
Yeah, now you understand, boy. Now you understand.
Oh, yeah.
Usami sees when she plays the violin. It's like a curse. Anyone with their head on straight would want to run away in this situation. Is all this about the violin? Let's get out of here. Just have to leave the rest to the cops. He's gonna see it again, isn't he?
Yeah, sorry. I wasn't thinking right earlier.
But she's got that face too, like, when will you realize? I gently put my hand on Usami's shoulder. They'll catch Mao eventually. Taking over a building is effectively closing off your escape routes.
Yeah, I hope at least.
She looked like a hurt little girl. Let's go home and listen to some classical music. There was a clamor coming from the lower floors. Screams of "Run! The elevator isn't working!" and the like filled the air. Yep, because they've secured the computer room. They've shut everything down. I take that to mean the people on the lower floors have been made aware of the uproar on the higher floors. Looks like we might be able to get out of here.
Yeah, Val probably wouldn't see any point in keeping all 50 floors under surveillance.
Is she still trying to figure out Mao's reasoning?
From what we saw, there were about 10 hostages, and most likely the politician we saw earlier.
Right. Let's watch the news about it from home. I take Usami's hand and go down the stairs one by one. That day, 1:30 p.m. A young police officer in a panic jumps into a police box somewhere along Tomenbetsu City's Central Boulevard. There's trouble! This phrase is shouted several times daily on Central Boulevard. After all, this tiny police kiosk is well known and stays busy. One day in Tomenbetsu's largest shopping center sees thousands of visitors who have lost their way, or worse, one of their personal articles. Come twilight, the police become involved. Oh, is that who I think it is? Wrong account. Yep, it is you, Kimiko. There you are. How are ya? Oh man, you're coming in at a good time. Shit is very much going down in this story right now. Like, holy shit. Oh, well, you'll have to see what Kiyosuke was talking about earlier. Come twilight, the police become involved in breaking up gaggles of street-walking prostitutes and any trouble that might arise in the brothels. There are drunken brawls and yakuza battles. The most common duty the officers at this station undertake, though, is the consultation of rowdy and misguided minors in an attempt to keep them out of trouble. As it was something he was used to dealing with every day, the police lieutenant on duty just continued browsing the sports column of the city newspaper. It's the drugstore. It's being burned down. The lieutenant looked up. Several young men stood behind the new recruit bearing the bad news. He had spoken to each of them many times about their antics. What do you want? The boys didn't answer. They were frighteningly expressionless. What the hell was up with that? There was a thumping noise. Behind the now fallen young officer, a blonde-haired boy was holding a gun. It's just as Mao said. Why not give them guns?
Fucking hell.
God, his words are fucking eerie in this situation. The lieutenant had no idea what was going on. Without giving him any time to think, another bullet fired from the barrel of the gun. The boys shout in delight and frolic about. Bang, 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 bang. They were so merry as if they were playing with firecrackers. 5 minutes later. Snow trickled down, even in this area of the Sano Corporation headquarters. Originally started by Sano itself, the district colloquially known as Central Office now housed businesses from all over the world. It could be called the wallet of Tomenbetsu City. There are a number of narrow roads within a 200-yard radius of the Sano building. It's a system of alleyways that surrounded the building like a network of blood vessels. On weekends, one often saw trucks carrying an assortment of goods through these narrow paths. One large truck sat ensconced in an alleyway. Ensconced. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Never heard that word before. It was parked sideways in the road, blocking the passage. It was almost like an embolism to this vessel. Listen, you dumbass! The fuck are you thinking? A rather crass man approached the truck with a loud voice. He was ready to let the driver have it. But for whatever odd reason, the driver was dressed in military garb. We've finished blockading the entire north section. He muttered something strange into his walkie-talkie. Who the hell are you? The crass man's voice turned inside out for a good reason, as the driver had just put his finger on the trigger of a gun. By the time the man had even begun to try and escape, it was too late. Is it the military? No, this guy's much too insane for... Bang. That day.
What the fuck is going on?
2:30 p.m. We're looking at what's going on outside the building now. That's what's happening. If you'll recall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like shit. It's like the entire city's falling apart.
Ismail wanted to see what is going on outside.
Yep.
It's all exactly as he planned.
Yep.
My god. A captain of the 3rd Squad of the Tokyo Police Guard Division was anxious over the fact that regular reports from one of his teams had stopped coming in. Normally, security police are only put on Secret Service duty for politicians around election time. When the person in question is Imagawa Tsunio, things are different. Imagawa had been very ardent recently in his proposals of pro-US policies. Consequently, this earned him the ire of not only the opposing party, but also the radical extremists within the country. Worried over the threat letters and prank phone calls he was getting nearly every day, he requested protection from the Tokyo police. What could have happened? His bodyguards for the most important government officials, the SP are picked from among the most talented police cadets. Their skills in both firearms and hand-to-hand combat exceed those of normal men in uniform. So for them to go down without even having time to call for help was almost unthinkable. Unease was attacking the police captain in his patrol car when he heard a loud roar. However, it did not come from the building. It came from the direction of Central Boulevard. Upon inspection, it seemed there had been a fire, as black smoke was rising into the sky. There were multiple columns of smoke. Did a gas station ignite or something? People started pouring from the building's entrance. They had panicked looks in their eyes. They came out carrying nothing but the clothes on their backs. Apparently there were people who had fallen and were being trampled underfoot, as you could hear their screams and roars coming from the inside. What's going on here? The moment the officer stepped out of his car, it happened. The sound of unfamiliar gunfire tore through the area. Guns officially issued to police officers such as himself could not make the rapid noises he was hearing. People fell to the ground like mosquitoes, and the screams grew even more wild. The officer was quick to contact the local police station. However, even after some time, there was no response. The only explanation he could come up with was that the police were fully mobilized in a state of emergency. He heard the once more. Superimposed on it was a calm voice that seemed to stand out against the ongoing pandemonium.
Good afternoon.
Oh my god. A young man walked just a step in front of the 2 other machine gun-toting men. He leaned over and snatched the walkie-talkie from the officer.
Once you secure your frontline base of operations, contact me at the following cell phone number.
That's a fucking power move right there. This man Mao literally just said, I am the police. He just walked straight up to the police captain and issued that command through the captain's walkie-talkie. That's a fucking power move right there if I've ever seen one.
Yes.
Oh my god. And after that, he just boldly walked away. The officer couldn't even speak up. Yeah, at this point, as as a police captain, you are just completely demoralized. You just feel helpless, powerless in this situation. Like,
yeah, like what the fuck just happened?
He's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah,
The
that's
items that the 2
absolute
men at his side were
control.
holding weren't mere toys. A group of 3 men were randomly firing off submachine guns, as if to spur on the people running about in panic. Blankets of black smoke covered the sky. Screams and cries reverberated without end. Before his very eyes, the sort of Middle Eastern riot that you might see on television was unfolding in all its horror. In the very next moment, a muzzle was pointed at his face.
Good night. Zai-san.
We mixed in with the large crowd of people trying to escape the building. The employees scrambled for the stairs, not giving a care about anyone else. A good number of people fell and were trampled. We searched for an exit like a pack of refugees.
Zai-san, look!
When we reached the outside at last, we took in a breath of fresh air. It was only then that we understood. You saw me? We had thought that as long as we made it out of the building, we'd be safe.
Yeah, this is much worse than we thought.
You don't say! This wasn't just a takeover of the Sano Corporation building. The sound of screaming messed with the rattle of submachine gun fire. As it turned out, nowhere was safe. People were being mowed down mercilessly in waves. Flesh and blood scattered about everywhere. Evil sounds were incessant. The screaming, gunfire, and crashing noises continued unabated. I had no idea that air could smell this scorched. Don't tell that to Canada right now. There was so much fire that you couldn't even tell what was burning anymore. The distant sky was misted in smoke.
We should find somewhere to hide for now.
As reality broke down around me, I did as Usami suggested and headed for a nearby alley. Just as we were about to get to the alley, a patrol car showed up. It stopped on the shoulder of the road, siren blaring. The police. The thought of the power of the state getting involved left me with a transient feeling of relief.
We gotta get out of here.
Now I don't trust that patrol car. She pulled at my arm. A dozen boys holding iron pipes suddenly came out of hiding. They bashed on the windshield and the hood, and when the officer stepped out of the car, they changed their target to his head. Walking Dead theme plays. It's appropriate for what's going on right now. Like, fuck, dude.
No music at all?
Got to be kidding me. These children didn't hesitate for a second with the violence they were inflicting.
Hurry, Zai-san.
More mayhem awaited us in the alley we ran into.
You can't hear any music, can you?
No, there's none.
Yeah.
Normally it would be just a narrow little space where the homeless settled down for a bit. But now, several men were having their way with a woman. I guess the one laying to the side and having a fit was someone that had just finished with her. Fucking hell. Suddenly, I heard the sound of glass breaking from above, and a person fell from the sky. He was a man that looked to be Yakuza, but he was covered in blood and foaming at the mouth. A kid with dyed red hair finished him off with a piece of lumber. Someone pointed at us. "Kill him! Rape him!" they yelled. They yelled as they closed in on us, laughing. I took Usami's hand and ran. The reality of what was going on around me gradually started to sink in. It was like those anti-Japanese demonstrations in other parts of Asia that you see on TV. Central Boulevard had been transformed into a frenzy of violence. After breaking the window of a restaurant, a group of boys had crowded around the register and scattered the money about. Yup, officially an apocalypse. No shit. That's what it feels like right now. A sports car drove through the crowd, taking free rein over the usually congested streets. The sidewalk, a middle-aged businessman was being ganged up on and murdered. Graffiti of the sort you'd find in a public bathroom was sprawled across a police box. That only drove home the point that we can't expect anything from the police.
I guess you could call this a coup yet.
I don't think so. This is too vulgar to be an uprising or revolt, and too indiscriminate to be terrorism. This is hell. Usami nodded. Now, the devil had brought hell to Earth.
Whoa!
True hell on Earth. It's just after 4 o'clock. I think this is you.
Yeah, I received a report that the last alley in Central Boulevard had been blocked off. Excellent. Now everything within 2-mile radius of the Snow headquarters has become part of our little nation. We can call it Neverland, or the People's Anarchy, or of Tambetsu City. It doesn't matter. What's important is that I succeeded in forging the hell I sought on Earth. Death and destruction enveloped everything in sight. I spent many a year plotting in order to bring about this lawlessness. Central Boulevard was nigh on 40 different entrances and exits. At the moment, each one of them is being controlled by the children I brought up so dearly. According to my preliminary calculations, the roads themselves would only take about 10 minutes. The plan was to take a few freight trucks that we had stolen prior and drive them into buildings, effectively creating a barricade to stop up the alleys. In addition to that, we also piled up sandbags to fill any empty space between the buildings and the trucks. And to top it all off, we decided to put a barricade wire fence around it. A fence which, the last report, has just now been finished.
God damn.
The idea was to coordinate all of this with the takeover of the Sano building and the induction of Imagawa, a member of the National Diet. Good work. Let us pool the best of our abilities and protect our country. I responded gently to the child. I'm sure he understood that this plan was not just a thing of fairy tales. As long as you had the proper know-how and you were sufficiently warped, anyone could pull it off. The cell phone rang. It was from a number associated with the police. I guess it's time to make the police face this brilliant music as well. Good afternoon. I'm speaking. Am I speaking to the officer in charge of this case? There was no need for a voice changer. Regardless of which machine or algorithm you use, police technology has evolved enough to identify your voice print. My name is Tokita, and I'm with the 1st Special Division Prefectural Police Department. I don't think there will be any complaints if you consider me in charge here. He held a sense of dignity and firm will. The Prefecture's Special Division is on par with Tokyo's Police Special Investigations Team or Osaka's Martial Arts Attack Team in terms of capability. They're professionals when it comes to hostage crises, kidnappings, corporate threats, blackmail, and other such cases.
I don't think they're prepared for this, though. Nobody is.
When dealing with vicious criminals such as myself, they mobilize with heavy equipment, and if negotiations fail, they charge in. A pleasure to speak with you, Superintendent Tokita. Or should I call you Senior Superintendent Tokita? You're quite informed about police ranks. You wouldn't happen to be with the police yourself, would you? He's a real negotiator, alright. Already going after the juicy details there. You can call me Asai. Public security might even have some information on me. Go ahead and check if you like. Well, thank you. That should save us some time. Tell you what, as a token of my appreciation, how about I tell you exactly what extent I have you surrounded at the moment. That would be wonderful. At present, we have all roads that lead to Central Boulevard and Central Office blocked off. Same goes for pedestrian routes. We have police tape up to keep the press at bay as well. and yet it's only been 3 hours since the incident occurred. Excellent workmanship. Do you have the riot police from Tokyo coming in to back you as well? I guess I won't have to be doing so much of explaining the finer points to you. Yes, we have armoured vehicles and SAT teams standing by at each blockade. Very good. Might I recommend ramming an armoured vehicle into the blockade near the drugstore? The defences seem to be the weakest there, and securing a route might be plausible there. I appreciate the advice, however I'm afraid we'll have to hold off on charging until we can confirm Mr. Umagua's safety. A wise decision. I trust you are also aware of the current state of affairs on this side, correct? Central Boulevard is equipped with various cameras that serve as crime deterrents. We just had a young man rush into the bathroom after getting a look at the live video feed. It's almost like a window into an entirely different world at this point. I'd like to point out that most of the violence is being committed by minors. Yes, we're aware of this fact. These acts by children may be disorder and brutally incarnate, but the one who set this all up was careful indeed. If a certain Prime Minister decides to put an end to this problem by ordering the Special Assault Team to slaughter a bunch of children, the very future of this country, you can bet I will be running the next election. But even if it weren't minors they were dealing with, the police wouldn't be able to charge in on a moment's notice. Getting over trucks that tall would be difficult even for a mercenary. You'd make an easy target while attempting to scale it. Granted, if they came charging in mindless losses, they would be met with some success, but would the police hotshots in Tokyo find themselves to give the go-ahead to such an unfavourable brute force operation? I still believe my biggest threat to be the military. The Japanese military hand-to-hand combat capabilities were spoken of even amongst my mercenary comrades as being among some of the best in the world. Naturally, I don't think I'd have much luck going against a legitimate army.
That's what you're gonna have to get involved to deal with this shit.
But using Japanese infantry against urban terrorism is a concept that has only been put to suggestion in recent years. If the fight involves civilians, they wouldn't be able to make full use of their overwhelming potential. There's also the possibility of them dropping in paratroopers, but in a situation like this where you wouldn't be able to tell terrorists from civilians, that wouldn't be all that effective.
Yeah, see, that's the problem with this. Your enemies are all around you, and you can't tell who is who.
Yeah.
He's concocted this very wisely. I would expect no less from the devil himself.
Well, I certainly hope it doesn't come to slaughter like that. In fact, making sure we can avoid that is the very reason I'm here. It would be in both our interests to settle this with words. Senior Superintendent Takeda, we're on the same side here, wouldn't you agree? He returned some dry laughter.
Yeah, indeed, Zach.
Yeah. You continue to surprise me, Asai. You have the negotiator's manual memorized by heart, don't you? Perhaps. Regardless, I just feel there is no need to draw this conversation out longer than need be. I try not to be a violent, boorish criminal, you see. Indeed. Moreover, I know that you are a distinguished man who studied with the FBI. That you relegated to some Blackwater posts, and that you have adopted a daughter that goes by the name Yuki. I guess I'm at a disadvantage here. The only thing I know about you is that you're a tall, thin Japanese man in his late 20s to early 30s. Yep. They say a truly capable negotiator can discern a person's age, origin, intellect, and the state of mind by just hearing their voice. Some can even discern physical features such as your height and weight. They listen to the pitch of your vocal cords produce to give them an insight to into their size.
Fascinating.
Well then, do you mind if I just skip to the usual exposition and cut right down to business? Furthermore, they can mask themselves with a versatile, malleable personality capable of adapting to the situation. However, he must have figured that continuing with that charade would be pointless against me. What are your demands? His words contain no trace of his previous tender attitude. Senior Superintendent Tokita removed his mask and laid his hostility bare. I could feel his drive to catch unjust felons, his pride as an officer emanating from the other end of the phone. I responded by politely stating my demands. I demand of the Prime Minister that he immediately release from custody the following unjustly incarcerated freedom fighters. And so I went on to naming extremist political prisoners one by one. Mixed among them, I listed my father, Samajima Toketsu. After all, he was a man who had long in the past been suspected of being involved with extremists.
Okay, so on one hand, I want to keep going with this because this is really fucking good. But I also have to work tomorrow, which is uncharacteristic of me on a Monday. So I don't know how much longer this goes on for. So as much as I hate to do this, it's such a good moment.
Probably best to leave it to episode 27.
Yep. It feels like the end is inevitable now.
Yeah.
It feels like we are closing in. Feels like the end is in sight finally. Like, this is it. Everything the whole game has been building up towards. On full display.
Destruction and chaos.
Uh-huh. As Mao said, bringing hell to earth. He has succeeded. My God. What a sight. Just looking at that thumbnail for the save, like, Jesus Christ. We went from this to this. That's where this episode took us.
I just want to, like,
holy shit.
Yeah.
My God. I can't wait to see this through.
Shit, man.
Next Sunday cannot come fast enough.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Because we'll be doing this again next Sunday, too. I've got it posted on the stream schedule for this week.
Yep, it's in my calendar.
And yeah. I'm starting to wonder if episode 27 could very well be the finale.
Yeah, shit.
I'm not counting on it. But my God, it feels so close now.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah. Like, there can't be much more after this. Like, this is it right here. But, that being said, I still have work tomorrow, so...
Who fucking would have guessed that fucking...
Yeah,
we thought the fucking last episode would have been intense, but fucking hell, it turned it up to 11.
Yeah, I mean, this is the final chapter after all.
The devil on G-string.
It's the perfect place. It's where it has to unfold. So yeah, I'm looking forward to next time.
Oh yeah.
Being said, I guess we will find out soon enough. If next time really is going to be the conclusion.
Yeah. What a conclusion that'll be.
No kidding.
Oh yeah.
That being said, we feel like we've rambled on long enough at the end here.
Yeah.
I'm just repeating myself, so I will see you guys next time.
Have a good one.
We see if they make their way out of hell on earth here. This fucking music, though. So until next time, take care.